Now calling for your honor, United States versus Steven Girard, 2023 CMDO 08420.
Good morning, Your Honor. Katie and Carter for the United States.
And good morning, Your Honor. Sean Sukumar on behalf of Mr. Girard, who is present and sitting to my left-hand side.
Okay. And are we ready for trial here?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Okay. There was a motion to suppress, but the government says that it doesn't intend to introduce that evidence anyway.
I would say that the motion is then moot.
So it looks like. And is that still accurate?
That's still accurate. We can still bring in the flagpole in case defense wants to look at it. We're not going to use it in the case in chief, Your Honor.
Okay. So there's some interesting issues raised by that motion, but...
Would have made for a fun hearing, but nonetheless, I guess it's not an issue.
Okay. And how many witnesses does the government have?
We have one witness, Your Honor. Possibly one in rebuttal, but one witness in the case in chief.
And the defense?
0 to 1, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, it's possible that we can handle both of these. Counsel, can you approach for a minute?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor.
There are lots of people here that don't know what they're here for. But is there a reason why this case should stay here and the other one should be certified? Or does it really matter?
The only potential reason, Your Honor, is that this case is about protesters, and there could be some political stuff. I'm trying to mitigate that as much as possible.
I understand that.
But it could get messy with these witnesses.
Yes, and the other one is old, but pretty straightforward. So okay. So if I have to certify one, my inclination is to certify the other one.
Okay.
Even though both of them are relatively short. I don't want to commit to doing two, and we really want to try this today if we can, right?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, one other issue. And this doesn't even necessarily need to be addressed here, but Mr. Girard is a little hard of hearing. Would the court have a problem with? He may have a difficult time hearing while witnesses are testifying on the stand. Would he be able to wear the headsets?
Totally.
If that's okay?
Sounds great.
Of course.
Thank you.
That's the easiest issue I'm going to be asked about today.
Calling for your honor, non-jury trial, United States versus Steven Girard, 2023 CMD 08420.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Katie and Carter for the United States.
And Olivia Heinerfeld on behalf of the United States. Good morning.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sean Sukumar on behalf of Mr. Girard.
Oh, it is afternoon. We're not doing that badly. Actually, the way these things go. Good afternoon, everybody. You can sit down. So are there any preliminaries? I gather that the motion to suppress is basically moot because the government isn't seeking to introduce the flagpole?
The government agrees with that, Your Honor.
We agree.
Okay.
And Your Honor, one preliminary matter for the government. We would just ask the court to remind the observers on WebEx about filming or recording in the courtroom.
Right. I gather there are a number of people who are watching on the WebEx. You are not permitted to record or to film the court proceedings.
Other than that, we're ready to go, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we are as well, Your Honor. We had raised the issue at the bench. Is there a headset that Mr. Girard can wear?
Yes. If there is, if there isn't, we'll get one. Hope it works.
Mr. Girard, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Okay. If at any point you're not able to hear something, or that isn't working anymore, raise your hand or something, or nudge your lawyer or whatever, and we'll arrange it.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Heinerfeld, do you want to get started?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is a case about a man harassing a protester he disagreed with. On September 7th, 2023, former White House policy advisor Peter Navarro held a press conference in John Marshall Park, right outside the federal courthouse, regarding his prosecution for contempt of Congress. Several dozen people attended that press conference, including Miss Brianne Chapman, who you will hear from today. She will testify that she went to the press conference to protest Mr. Navarro, and while doing so was assaulted by the defendant, Mr. Steven Girard. You will hear that while Miss Chapman held up a sign, the defendant placed a makeshift wooden flagpole between Miss Chapman's legs, touching her buttocks and groin area as if to penetrate her from behind. Because of his actions on September 7, 2023, the government charged the defendant with 1 count of misdemeanor sexual abuse. And by the end of this trial, the evidence will make clear beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty. First, the court will hear the victim's testimony. Miss Chapman will take the stand and tell you exactly what the defendant did to her. The court will also see video footage of the assault. You will have the opportunity to see the defendant's actions firsthand and to observe Miss Chapman's facial expression as the defendant prodded her with the flagpole. Taken together, the evidence will show that the defendant did use the flagpole to touch Miss Chapman's buttocks and groin, that Miss Chapman did not consent to this touching, and that the defendant touched Miss Chapman's buttocks and groin to abuse, humiliate, harass, or degrade her. And that is why at the end of this trial, my co-counsel will return and ask you to return the only verdict consistent with the evidence to find the defendant guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Heinerfeld.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense will reserve openings.
Okay.
Your Honor, could I have a brief indulgence before I call the first witness?
Sure.
I'm going to use technology, and it's acting up a little bit.
That's fine.
Your Honor, apologies for that. The government calls Miss Brianne Chapman.
Okay.
If you go up into the box, please, and remain standing, raise your right hand. Thank you.
Thereupon, Brianne Chapman, having been called as a witness for and on behalf of the government, and having been first duly sworn by the deputy clerk, was examined and testified as follows.
Thank you. Please have a seat. You may be shown pictures or video on the computer in front of you, or on the large screen behind you. Watch whichever. But when it comes time to answer questions, please speak directly into the mic.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell your name for the court?
Brianne Chapman, Brianne Chapman.
All right. This is a very sensitive microphone, so you don't have to lean into it.
I don't have to talk that loud? Okay.
No. The point is, you don't have to lean forward.
Okay.
It will pick up anything you say.
Okay, gotcha.
Miss Chapman, how old are you?
I am 39,
And without giving me a specific address, where do you live?
currently in Philadelphia.
And what do you do for work?
I'm self-employed, I'm a content creator and kind of like a citizen journalist, so I have a live stream and people crowdfund me. But I don't have an official employer per se.
And as part of being a citizen journalist, do you ever make your way to Washington, D.C.?
Yes, very frequently.
And do you know a man named Steven Girard?
Yes.
Could you briefly tell the court just how you know this man?
So I report on the G6 cases, I attend the trials, I also protest a protest that they have outside the jail. And I've been doing that for...
The protest that who holds?
So the people that were arrested for being at the Capitol on January 6th, there is a supportive group for them, and they are outside of the DC jail because that's where some of them are still housed before they go off to the BOP. So I will protest that group, and then I attend the federal trials. And prior to that, there was another group. It was like the 1776 Restoration Movement. So I've seen Steven Girard around for about 2 years now. We never really had any interactions until, I guess, maybe the last year and a half.
So would you say you interacted with him on a number of occasions?
Yes, many times.
Now, I want to take you back to September 7. Do you recall that day?
I do, yes.
Did you attend a Peter Navarro press conference outside of the federal courthouse?
Yes.
And was that in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, it was.
Now, could you tell the court what you brought with you to the courthouse that day?
I brought a sign. I actually believe that I brought multiple signs, but I think I only used the one sign. And I had a backpack with me, and I may have had a megaphone that day. I don't recall, but I didn't use it or take it out.
And what were you intending to do at the press conference?
So this was either the second or third time that Peter Navarro had been at the federal courthouse. And the first time that he was there, when he came out of the courthouse, he comes out of the courthouse into John Marshall Park, and he has a press conference right there. There's cameras set up. So the first time he came out of the courthouse, which was not on September 7th, I had a sign that said, I think maybe Trump lost. And so as he approached the presser, I stood behind him. So while he was giving his presser, you could see my sign. So
this was before September 7th?
This was before September 7th. So that was my intention on September 7th, was to do the same thing. But there was a lot more people, like maybe some security for Navarro and some staff that were kind of keeping me away.
So was your intent to protest and show your sign at the press conference?
Yes.
So could you please tell the court what happened when Peter Navarro came out to speak and you started to engage in your protest?
So Peter Navarro actually came out of the building twice, out of the courthouse. The first time he came out, I attempted to go directly behind him with my sign. And again, there were several people there that seemed to maybe be taking direction from Navarro to keep me away. So I was kind of just moving around people, trying to avoid those people that I felt like were maybe his security or something. And as I went up behind Navarro, he got upset and he went back inside. And I did get pushed into a planter by Steven Girard.
Your Honor, I would object as far as other crimes evidence.
Excuse me?
I would object as far as other crimes evidence.
Well, it's the context.
And we're not going to argue it in closing, Your Honor. We believe it's just res geste.
I think it's context, so I'll allow it.
So he pushed me a bit into the planter.
You mean one of those big planters?
Yeah, the ones outside that are, yeah.
Is there anything in the planter, or is it empty?
I don't know if there was a plant in there. There's dirt and stuff in there, but I don't recall if there was a plant.
Okay.
But Navarro goes back inside, frustrated because I'm annoying him, and he eventually comes back out. And so at this point, I was standing a little further away, and then as soon as he comes out, I immediately beeline it behind him. There's a Washington Post news crew.
So, Miss Chapman, if you don't mind.
Oh, sorry.
Let's break it down a little bit, okay?
Yes, so I just got squeezed in and held my sign.
Sure. Okay. So, Miss Chapman, can you describe to the court about approximately how many people were around Peter Navarro as he began to speak?
The first time or the second time?
The second time. The charged incident. The second time.
I would say there was at least 10 people, between 10 and 20, so probably about 15 or so people there.
And were there any cameras filming the press conference?
Yes, there was half a dozen or so cameras.
And did you have your sign with you?
I did have my sign with me, yes.
Okay, so walk us through here. Once you see this, the cameras are set up. Peter Navarro is speaking. What's your next action?
So again, my point is to have my sign right behind Navarro so that it's on camera.
And for the record, the witness put both of her fists up to indicate the sign being held.
To hold the sign, yeah. So I saw where Navarro was. I went to go behind him. There's another protester there with a sign, and he has quite a large sign. And he's kind of on one side of Navarro, and there's a bunch of news reporters. So I saw one little space where I could squeeze in, and that's where I squeezed in. And then...
So was your goal to be in front of the camera?
Yes.
Okay, now what happened once you...
Well, your goal is to be behind. He's in front of the camera, and your goal is to be behind him?
Yes, because they usually will zoom in right on the person's face that is doing the speaking. So I want my sign like right here so that even though they zoom, they're not cropping me out.
So Miss Chapman, once you squeezed in, as you put it, with your sign up, what happened next?
So Steven Girard used his pelvis and his knee to bump his body into me, and then he said, "Ow, you stepped on my foot." And I said, "No, I didn't. It's all on camera." So I turned back around. I start protesting. And then that's when I feel the flagpole go up in between my legs and penetrate me. So he anally penetrated me with the flagpole. After he went, it went in. My legs were not closed, but kind of open. And he started from above my knees and then shoved it up and into me.
And Miss Chapman, you were wearing clothes, right?
I was wearing shorts, yes.
Okay. And so by penetrated, it didn't physically go inside your body, right?
Right. It was outside of the clothing, yes, not inside of my body.
Did you see Mr. Girard with the flagpole before you squeezed in?
Yeah, he was just holding it. It wasn't sticking out, but yes, I saw him with the flagpole.
What was the immediate thought in your head once you felt this flagpole in between your legs?
I immediately turned around and I started to yell, and then I stopped because I thought it was an accident at first. And then I realized that he did it intentionally, and I realized that because one of the court security officers, I believed he did it intentionally. And then a court security officer confirmed that for me because he...
Objection to hearsay.
Yes. You can't tell me what somebody else said.
Okay.
Of course.
I believe that it was intentional. I wasn't sure. The court security officer immediately came over as soon as it happened and said...
Objection as to hearsay.
So, Miss Chapman, what other witnesses say? You can't tell me what somebody else says.
Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry.
So let me ask you a different kind of question.
But a court security officer came over?
Yes.
And you can tell me what he did, just not what he said.
He spoke to Steven. I can't tell you what he said.
No. Let me ask you a different question, Miss Chapman.
Okay.
What makes you know? What makes you know that this was intentional?
Because he was looking right at me, and then when I said, "You stuck your flagpole in between my legs," he said, "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." And the conversation that I had with the court security officer made me believe that it was intentional.
Your Honor, once again, just object to the last portion for hearsay.
Well, she didn't tell us what. There isn't any hearsay. She's just saying she was asked why she thought this, and she said based on the conversation that she overheard. But she hasn't told us what it was. So that's it. The objection is overruled.
So, Miss Chapman, how do you know that it was Mr. Girard who touched you like that with the flagpole?
I mean, it was less than a second from the time that I felt it until I turned around and he was right there and he was the only person that was close enough.
Now, if you saw Mr. Girard in court today, would you recognize him?
Yes.
Do you see him?
I do, yes.
Could you please point to him and describe what he's wearing for the court?
He is wearing a white button-up 3/4 shirt and some black shoes, and I cannot see his pants. And he has a headset on and some glasses.
Your Honor, I'd ask the record to reflect an in-court ID of the defendant from the witness.
No objection.
The record will so reflect.
Now, Your Honor, at this point, I'm going to request permission to show the witness Government Exhibit 1 for identification,
Okay.
which I will also put up on the WebEx screen for her.
Okay.
Miss Chapman, are you able to look at the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, this is Government Exhibit 1 for identification. What is this to you?
This is the video from outside the courthouse on September 7th when I was struck with the flagpole.
And have you seen this video before today?
I have, yes.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the events of September 7, 2023 at the Peter Navarro press conference?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, the government moves Government Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Your Honor, I have arguments related to this. I think it may require either additional voir dire on my part or maybe additional questioning of the government whether this is a fair and accurate representation. I can hold off on my position on this until additional testimony is in.
Well,
But I do potentially intend on objecting to it.
I'm sorry?
I do intend on potentially objecting to the admission of this video.
Well, if she's going to testify about it, we probably want it admitted. So if you want to do some voir dire, do you have some additional questions? I think the foundation is laid. She says she's reviewed it, and she says that it accurately depicts what happened.
I think the foundation is laid, Your Honor.
Right.
Your Honor, may I voir dire?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Good afternoon, Miss Chapman.
Hello?
So, is it possible for us to play the video? Because I do have voir dire related to different portions of it.
No, if you're going to, the only issue is I don't want to have a lot of things played that haven't been admitted. You're objecting to admission of the video or portions of the video.
Yes.
So if you are, we're not going to play it.
I can voir dire about the video.
Okay. The only issue is authenticity and admissibility.
Miss Chapman, in this one screenshot that we have of Government's Exhibit 1, you are in this still shot, correct?
Correct.
Are you the person who is standing directly in the middle of the screenshot holding the sign?
Yes.
Okay, so, fair to say you're not the person taking this video, correct?
I am not.
Okay, and you've seen it. How long is this video?
It's about 2 minutes, maybe a little less. Less than 2 minutes.
Okay, so you've seen the entirety of this clip of this less than 2-minute video, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so you are not the person who clipped out this 2-minute portion of this video, correct?
I'm not sure if this is what I sent to the investigators originally or what this clip originates from.
Okay, so you don't know the origination of this specific clip that you're actually being shown right now.
I mean, I do. I sent everything in to the investigator, and so I'm assuming this is what I clipped and sent to them, yes.
So, but you said you're assuming that this is what you clipped and sent to them. So you're saying that this is a clip of, this 2-minute portion is a clip of a larger video? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure. I don't recall. I don't remember.
So you don't remember if there was any video that you saw that was longer than the 2-minute video clip that's been shown to you just now?
There's more video, but I'm not sure if I recall if it was attached to this or not.
Okay, so just a couple of more questions for you. This 2-minute clip, you believe that you've seen this roughly 2-minute clip prior to today, correct?
Yes.
When was the last time that you saw this specific 2-minute clip?
When I was prepped the other day by the prosecution.
Do you know how long ago that was?
It was just, let's see.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. This voir dire has nothing to do with foundation.
That's not voir dire. I mean, the only issue here is the authenticity of the video.
I can get into that. I'm sorry.
And I don't know anything about that.
I can move on. So, Miss Chapman, is there a portion of this clip that takes place where the camera positioning is behind you?
Behind me?
Yes.
Well, it's the same video. Walk from here to over behind Navarro, and then the flagpole happens, and it's the same person recording still behind me. She moves with me.
Okay, so what you're saying is that there is a portion of this video clip where the camera angle is positioned behind you. Is that correct?
I believe so.
And it's all part of the same clip?
Yes, I believe it's the same clip.
So that means that this video clip is taking video of things that are happening that are outside of your personal view. Is that correct?
Outside of my personal view?
Correct.
Well, if she was standing behind me, yes, she did see the incident better than I did.
Okay, so you're saying that this video clip is taking video of something that's going on that has a different view than what you are directly seeing in front of you. Is that right?
Well, I didn't see myself get jabbed with a flagpole because it happened from behind me. So this individual was standing behind me and caught a view of that from behind me, yes.
Your Honor, I would make my objection as far as this witness's ability to be able to authenticate video, as far as whether this witness can specifically say that this is a fair and accurate representation that is taking video of images that are outside of her personal knowledge. So I don't think that this witness is in a position to be able to say that things that are taking place outside of her purview. That this video is a fair and accurate representation of things that are outside of her purview.
Your Honor, I would say that that's not the standard in this case. It's one continuous video clip. She turns around a second later and sees the defendant with the flagpole. It's like any other piece of video evidence in this case, potentially like a CCTV. It's capturing a different angle than what people can see. That's not the standard.
Yeah, I don't think it's the standard either. I think the issue is, she can testify that she was there at the time of the incident, and that this was taken at that time. And unless there's some reason to believe that it's been tampered with in some way, or that it isn't a real video, I mean, she can also testify that this is her, that this reflects what she experienced, and that it wasn't something that was made up by a robot.
Our position is that the witness can testify to her experience.
Okay, I'm going to admit it. Based on her testimony, I think she stated that this video accurately represents the scene that she participated in, and I think that's sufficient.
Thanks, Your Honor.
So I will admit it.
At this point, I would request to publish Government Exhibit 1 in its entirety. I will let the court know there is voices and yelling and people talking. We're not going to use that for the truth here. It's all hearsay, but we're going to publish the video now.
Okay.
And Your Honor, the government is going to use Government Exhibit 1 in continued questioning of the witness.
Okay.
As we try to get the technology to work with us, keep playing it and I'll tell you when to pause.
他在毁灭这个国家，他不让人讲话，这个傻逼。OK， 你录下来，你录下来我，你个傻逼，你就在毁灭美国，你知道吗？你这个傻逼，你在毁灭美国，你知道吗？个混蛋！
Can you pause right here? So, Miss Chapman, if you're looking at Government Exhibit 1 here, can you explain to the judge why you chose to squeeze through this particular area?
Well, as you can see, Peter Navarro, you can see him over here kind of off to the right. And there was no way I was going to be able to get behind him from this direction on the right. There's this other man with a large sign, and then this guy here with a backpack is, I believe, a Washington Post journalist. So I didn't want to be disrespectful to him and cut him off. So the only other opening was to the left behind the other guy with the sign. And I was in front of Steven Girard so that my sign would be right there behind Navarro.
And for the record, that was at 20 seconds on the video clip. You can keep playing. Go ahead.
Ow! You shoved me, everyone saw it.
So this is on 23. Miss Chapman, can you describe what you saw Mr. Girard do with his body there as you were trying to squeeze in?
Well, I see it on here, but I felt it. So not only did I see it, but I felt it. He took his pelvis, I guess you could say, and his knee and folded himself into me.
And for the record, the witness thrusted her hips forward.
Can we play that again?
Sure, at 20 seconds. And the government is playing at 19 seconds.
Ow! You shoved me, everyone saw it.
So, Miss Chapman, did you have any intention of touching Mr. Girard as you were trying to get by?
No, I did not. And I kept my elbows in so that I wouldn't accidentally hit anyone. I'm very limber, so I'm able to, usually move around. I waitressed for 20 years and bartended. So I'm usually able to wiggle in and out of people without touching them, so that was my plan.
Okay, and can you continue playing the video? And this is at 23 seconds.
my First Amendment right. This is free speech. You took away American
And can you
right to
pause? Yes, that's at 30 seconds. Miss Chapman, can you describe what's going through your head at this very moment? 30 seconds on the video clip?
I felt something stick me and I didn't know what was happening. And at that point, I whipped around and I see Steve and his flagpole. And for a brief second, I think it's an accident. And then everything starts coming together and I realize it may not have been an accident.
Does viewing this video clip change your opinion on whether it may have been an accident?
Your Honor, objection.
Overruled.
No.
Let me put it a different way. Does viewing this clip make you think it was on purpose?
Yes.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor. And the man in the black shirt there that was wearing the flagpole with the Bowie hat on. Do you know who that person is?
That's Steven Girard.
And is that the same Steven Girard you identified earlier today?
It is, yes.
Okay, and is that you with the blue shorts on and the sign?
Yes.
Okay.
And the fanny pack.
And we're going to cease publishing Government Exhibit 1 at this point, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we're going to show the exhibit, Government Exhibit 2, for identification on the WebEx. And this has been provided to Defense Counsel. Miss Chapman, this is Government Exhibit 2 for identification. What is this to you?
This is September 7th behind Peter Navarro as he left court. It is the same day, the same time as the last video we watched. It is just a different angle coming live from CNN.
And have you watched that video clip before today?
Yes, I have.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the events of September 7, 2023 regarding yourself, Mr. Girard, and the flagpole?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, the government moves Government Exhibit 2 into evidence.
Same objection as before. No further argument.
Okay, I'll allow it.
And at this point, Your Honor, we're going to request to publish Government Exhibit 2.
Okay. And is this from CNN?
I can ask another question about that to make it clear. Do you know how this video was taken?
This is from CNN's cameras?
Okay, the ones you were trying to show your sign to?
Yes.
Okay, and we're publishing.
Like the other
Jamie, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. We're going to listen to Peter Navarro.
Here we are with one of the most important constitutional separation of powers issues, and people will not let me speak.
This is my First Amendment right.
What I'm going to do now is allow...
There's cameras here. The marshals just saw you. The marshals just saw you. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You just assaulted me. That man just assaulted me. He stuck a flagpole in between my legs.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. There you go. You're in trouble now. They're calling protective services. I was just assaulted.
Look, if you got a sign,
No, I
hold it
didn't.
over there.
Liar.
I can hold it anywhere I want. This
Yeah.
is public property.
It's assault. I want to press charges.
So this gives us a little bit of a different angle, Miss Chapman. Looking at just the outline of the people here, can you show the court one more time what you were trying to avoid, what you were trying to do with your sign?
So again, over to the left, there's another man with a sign, and there's a reporter. He's got his phone stuck out to, for audio. So I could not get in between them. And had I been too far to the left, you never would have seen me on the camera. So I decided to go around them over to the right, which was in front of Steven Girard, so that I was right behind Mr. Navarro.
And that's all we wanted to do with Government Exhibit 2, Your Honor. We're going to cease publishing it.
Okay.
So, Miss Chapman, did you ever give Steven Girard permission to touch your buttocks and genital region with his flagpole?
No, I did not.
Did you consent to it?
No, I did not.
Did you want him to touch your genital area and buttocks with his flagpole?
No, I did not.
Did you do or say anything to Mr. Girard that would make him think he had your permission?
No, I did not.
And sitting here today, how did it feel to have Mr. Girard touch your genital and buttocks region with a flagpole?
I mean, besides, first of all, being touched in your genitals by a strange man is very traumatic, but this was in public. Not just in public in front of people, but this was on CNN. This was on MSNBC. This went viral, so everyone saw this. So it was humiliating and traumatizing.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good afternoon again, Miss Chapman. You had mentioned on direct examination that your job is as a citizen journalist, right?
And content creator.
And content creator. Thank you. And so part of that content creation is through a YouTube channel, is that right?
And also Twitch, yes.
So Twitch. Thank you. Yes. So let me talk about YouTube for a second now. So your YouTube channel operates under the name Anarchy Princess, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
And for your other channels that you use, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, does that also operate under the same, I would say, handle? Is that fair?
Well, the handles are different, but it's so like on Twitter, there's an @ sign, so it's not Anarchy Princess. But I'm kind of a boomer with the internet, so I don't really know what this is called. But the handle will say @ but right above that, it says Anarchy Princess.
Okay, that's fair. So, Anarchy Princess is sort of the name that is identifiable as you for the different either streaming services, video channels, YouTube, Twitch, so on. But that would be the handle that would be identifiable as you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now.
What is going on right now?
Who was that?
I think that was from the WebEx, Your Honor.
Anyway, so let's just talk about your YouTube channel for a second. This is actually a channel that you personally either post videos that you yourself have taken or that you have reposted from other sources. Is that right?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this line of cross just for relevance.
Well, I'll give you a chance to tie it up.
Thank you.
Soon.
I'll try to be efficient, Your Honor. So your YouTube channel goes from different sources. Part of it is things that you film. Part of it is things that other people have filmed. Is that right?
Well, no, not necessarily, because if I post something that someone else filmed, I could get a copyright strike. So I may share a link of someone else's, but occasionally I may edit a video to use someone else's content in my channel, but I'm not regularly, I guess, posting other people's footage.
That's fair. Okay. But at least part of it is videos that you yourself have taken and then posted. Is that right?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that a large percentage, if not the majority of what you post, is related to your visitations to or counter-protests of Trump and pro-Trump rallies? Is that right?
No, I've only ever been to one Trump rally.
So was there a Trump rally that you went to in Philadelphia about a month ago that you did video of?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So I want to ask you a little bit about how your video streaming works, monetarily.
Why is this relevant?
Your Honor, this goes to bias and motive.
Okay.
So, Miss Chapman.
Well, I think her views are clear.
I'm not necessarily arguing political bias or motive. I'm arguing something a little bit different.
Okay.
My line of questioning is something a little bit different than that. So, as part of your monetization of the videos that you post on YouTube, is it correct that you make additional money for getting additional views? Is that right?
No, that's not correct because I am not monetized on YouTube, so I receive no money from YouTube.
Okay.
I receive no money from views. I receive no money from commercials, nothing. All of the money I receive is crowdfunding. People make donations to me.
Okay. So, does that mean that the more viewers that you are getting through your YouTube channel, the more people who are available to be able to potentially crowdfund? When you say crowdfund, you're talking about people who are your viewers paying you for things that you're posting directly. Is that fair to say? That's how crowdfunding works?
No.
No? So you're saying you don't get paid additional for the more people who are watching you on YouTube? The more viewers you are getting, the more people who are available to be able to pay you to do additional content?
Well, I've had that channel for, I think, 2 years now, and my viewers have not really increased very much, and they definitely did not increase in September. It stayed pretty consistent. So I'm not getting tons of views. I'm not getting tons of views. I'm not getting tons of followers, and I'm certainly not making money from my YouTube content.
Okay, so when you're talking about your crowdfunding, where is that money coming from then?
Usually people on Twitter that follow me.
Do you repost? Do you post links to YouTube videos on Twitter?
I post a link tree. I have a merch store. I sell merch. Anywhere that you can find me is on the link tree. So I will repost that.
So that means that when you use Twitter, you're posting a link tree, meaning giving people on your Twitter access to videos that you have in other locations such as YouTube. To be able to go from your Twitter page, to be able to then link that to YouTube videos. And then you're asking people to pay you through crowdfunding and all of that through Twitter. Is that right?
I do occasionally ask for help, like if I'm going on a trip. I went to Miami recently. So I will share that link tree and ask for help with my trip or my travel. Yes.
Okay.
I also had an emergency one time where I asked for help, but no, not generally directing people to my YouTube channel.
Your travels to DC, was that also funded through crowdfunding?
No, I was living in DC. I just recently left.
Okay, so you're crowdfunding, citizen journalism, content creation. When you're talking about content creation, you're talking about the whole source of all the content you're putting in various places on the internet. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I want to ask you a little bit about the methodology that you use through your online social or your online content creation. Is it fair to say, even if it's not been successful necessarily, that when you're posting content, you're looking for viewers? Is that right? You're not posting into the air or into the ether, right? You're posting for viewers, right?
Not for viewers. I mean, maybe you could call it viewers. I'm really posting to get information out. So yes, you have to have people watching it to spread the information.
So you've got to have more people watching it to be able to get more viewers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So part of the tactics in your situation, and you talked a little bit about on direct examination that the situation that happened with Mr. Girard and the flagpole on September 7th, you said that that was humiliating, right?
I did say that, yes.
Now, is it fair to say that part of the tactics that you use when you have gone into other rallies to counter a protest is making sexually insulting remarks at the people that you're protesting?
Objection to relevance, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
So I've never physically touched anyone. I've never sexually assaulted anyone at a rally. Do I say small penises for Trump? Yes.
Okay, so, and this is something that you also had talked about. You know, the small penises for Trump. You had done that in online content in Philadelphia, correct?
At the Trump rally? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
I believe so. I'm not sure. It was a long day, so I don't remember all the things that I said. Actually, I do remember. I remember chanting small penises for Trump. I think I used maybe the D word. I'm not sure if I can say that here.
A lot of weird stuff has been said around these courtrooms. Obviously, the judge is the one who gets to tell you whether you can or can't say something. Not me. But is this also tactics that you have potentially used when you counter-protested what you referred to as a J6 gathering outside of the correctional treatment facility here in D.C.?
I cannot think of many times where I've talked about small penises down there other than saying small penises for Trump. I don't know that I've directed it at anybody other than one person who lives in New York and who was just visiting for the day. And that was after he was literally grabbing his genitalia and making movements at me with it in his hand.
Okay. Is there another tactic that you've used in the past where you have gotten extremely physically close to people that you were counter-protesting, and then when they have come into physical contact with you, accuse them of assaulting you?
Could you elaborate? I'm not sure I understand your question.
Sure, I can actually even show you a video if that helps refresh your recollection about it. Brief indulgence?
Do you want to just give this a name for identification?
Sure, I'll call this Defense Exhibit 1. Miss Chapman, I'm putting Defense Exhibit 1 up on the WebEx screen. Do you recognize the screen that I'm showing you right now?
I do recognize this. Someone from Freedom Corner actually shoved me with their elbow this day.
So I'm going to play Defense Exhibit 1. Actually, let me back up. This is something that you posted on your YouTube channel, right?
I'm not sure where you got this from, or I don't recall if I posted it on YouTube.
Your Honor, this is inappropriate. If he's trying to refresh her recollection, he should play the video and then ask her about it.
I can do that.
All right. But just to be clear, she said she recognizes the video. She's just not sure. Or she recognized the incident.
No, I recognize this incident, but I don't.
But not the video?
Yes.
Okay. So you can play it, and maybe that will refresh her recollection.
Brian Jackson, he has Hitler tattooed on his neck, 11 swastikas.
Now, I'm just going to pause it here.
Now you can ask her if her recollection is refreshed.
Okay. And so, Miss Chapman, is that you holding a sign in the middle?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection as far as this incident that took place? That's displayed in this video?
Yes, but I'm not exactly sure where this video was from, who made it, or where it was posted.
I don't think there's been any issue about her recollection of the incident. It's just a question of the source of the video.
Okay.
I take it looking at the video doesn't tell you any more about where it came from?
Well, I know that I didn't record this. I think I had a camera in my hand, my phone in my hand, but I didn't record this video. I'm not sure if this was a spectator. I do remember seeing this, but I saw about 5 angles of this from multiple different people.
But, Miss Chapman, you posted this on your YouTube page, correct?
I don't know. I do not know.
Okay, would it help to see your YouTube page to be able to refresh your recollection as far as whether this video is posted on your own YouTube page?
I mean, I guess yes.
Okay.
I post a lot of things, so...
Court's indulgence, Your Honor. I'll call this screenshot Defense Exhibit 1A.
Okay.
Now, Miss Chapman, can you tell me, am I showing you right now a screen from your YouTube channel? Do you see Anarchy Princess down on the left?
Yes, I see it now.
Okay, so this video titled Sherry Assault, is that something that you posted yourself onto your YouTube channel?
Yes.
You wouldn't post manipulated media onto your own YouTube channel, right?
I would not. No.
Okay, so is this something that you remember actually happening?
Yes.
Okay, now, you've testified before that someone shoved you in this situation. I'm going to play.
Brian Jackson, he has Hitler tattooed on his neck, 11 swastikas.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that you got camera. Nice try. Oh, you're so tough. You're so tough, Sherry. You're so tough, Sherry. You're so tough. Nobody gives no fuck. Oh, what are you going to do? Call the police?
You're the one threatening to call the police.
Nazis are over here. White supremacists. This is her husband. Stand next to your husband. Loud and she just elbowed me. How many cameras are that? Sir, she just elbowed me.
You need to get up off of us.
Sir, she just elbowed me.
He elbowed me.
Elbowed you. I'm going to play this again then.
Oh, you're so tough. You're so tough, Sherry. You're so tough, Sherry. You're so tough. Nobody gives no fuck. Oh, what are you going to do? Call the police?
You're the one threatening to call the police.
Nazis are over here. White supremacists. This is her husband. Stand next to your husband. Loud and she just elbowed me. How many cameras are that? Sir, she just elbowed me.
You need to get up off of us.
Sir, she just elbowed me.
And, Your Honor, at this time, I'm interested in this for impeachment purposes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm going to object. It's not accurate to say. She said sometime during that day she was elbowed, not during this specific video. She's not being impeached on anything.
Right.
If he wants to ask questions about this incident, I get it, but I don't think extrinsic evidence is.
Right. I don't know that you've connected one and the other.
So,
Unless that's what this is.
Your Honor, if the court...
In other words, you asked her if she ever got physically close to people and then accused them of assault. And it's not clear that this incident, what's on this video, is reflective. Are you claiming that this video reflects that?
I can ask additional questions about it.
Okay.
So, Miss Chapman, is this a situation where you've seen this video before, right? You posted it on your channel?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a situation where an example of what you say was someone, if I remember correctly what your language was, elbowing you and assaulting you during a rally? Is this one of those instances?
Well, there's actually more to this, I believe. And I was further away in this group, this large group, which is, it's Freedom Corner. They all have this protest there. That's what they call themselves. They're all from that.
So you remember this incident now?
Yes. I remember moving away from them to where I'm currently standing right now, where the video is queued up. And then I attempted to move again, and then you'll see one woman stick her foot out and trip me and then elbow me.
Okay. So, Your Honor, may I have permission now to play the entire video?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to start this from the beginning then. You said there was more to this, but the portion that's here, 1 minute, 46 seconds,
And can you make it bigger? Now it says 42%. I don't know if you can make it any bigger.
Do you want to go watch it at the bench?
I can show the court at the bench. Unfortunately, I think the view that I have right now is on the screen, unless the court removes the top individual screens.
No, but can't you make it bigger than 42%?
Let's see.
I mean, maybe you can't. But if you clicked on the plus, what would happen?
Clicked on the plus?
The plus next to the 42%.
I actually don't see the 42% there.
Oh, I do. On my computer, it's above the video. There's a minus, there's a 42%, and then there's a plus.
I'm actually not seeing that on mine. Let me see what I can do.
Just play it then.
Your Honor, unfortunately, I think this is the biggest that I can get from my end. But I'll try to play it then, and if the court would like to maybe see something up close, I can just show it to the court up close.
We can also take a look at it, Your Honor.
Best laid plans, Your Honor. Your Honor, this is supposed to have sound. And once again, I'm not introducing anything for the truth of the matter as far as the sound goes.
Okay.
Let me try this one more time, Your Honor.
Brian Jackson, he has Hitler tattooed on his neck, 11 swastikas.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that you got camera. Nice try. Oh, you're so tough. You're so tough, Sherry. You're so tough, Sherry. You're so tough. Nobody gives no fuck. Oh, what are you going to do? Call the police?
You're the one threatening to call the police.
Nazis are over here. White supremacists. This is her husband. Stand next to your husband. Loud and she just elbowed me. How many cameras are that? Sir, she just elbowed me.
You need to get up off of us.
Sir, she just elbowed me. You touch a rib shot. Did you get it in 4K or just You touch it. I want to press charges. I'm not fucking joking. Sherry right here just fucking elbow me on my back. Look at her. You touch her. Get off of my back. Sidewalk, move. Excuse me. I want to press charges on her. She just fucking... Officer, if you...
I'm going to stop it 1 minute into Defense Exhibit 1. Your Honor, I move to admit Defense Exhibit 1.
We would object to its admission as being used for impeachment, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
We would object to admission of the video. It was used to impeach her if it did, but I don't think it should be admitted.
Counsel, can you approach?
Sure.
Can you step down?
Sure.
It seems to me that if you're showing it to her, it's being used to impeach. But if it does, I'm not sure it does. But why? It's part of their case. I don't understand the objection.
So, well, he said he was going to use it for impeachment.
Well, but if something is being used for impeachment, it still ought to be part of the record. So it had to be introduced.
I thought it would remain as for identification.
But even if it's there for identification, once you show it to somebody and actually make it part of the record, it seems to me it's appropriate for it to be introduced for whatever value it has.
We are seeking to introduce it for substantive evidence.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, Defense 1 will be admitted. Miss Chapman, you can come back. Thank you.
Miss Chapman, you heard on Defense Exhibit 1 that was just played, a person shouting. She just elbowed me. I want her arrested. Was that you?
Yes.
Now, I want to take you to a different incident. Mr. Girard was arrested in this matter involving you on September 7th at some point in November, correct? If you know, if you don't, that's fine.
Let's see, it happened in September. I don't remember the timeline, if it was September when he was arrested, October. I don't remember if that happened immediately.
Okay, do you remember at some point finding out that a judge, and once again, if you don't know the answer to this, that's fine, you can just say so. At some point, a judge, as part of this case, issued an order saying that Mr. Girard had to stay 100 yards away from you. Did you find out about that at some point?
That was after he had been arrested and appeared at court, yes.
Okay. Now, and so you became aware of an order sometime after Mr. Girard was arrested that a judge had ordered that Mr. Girard had to stay at least 100 yards away from you. Is that correct?
The day that he was arrested, I believe.
Okay. Now, was this before? When I say was this, what I mean is, did you find out about that order before June 26th of this year?
Did I find out about the stay away order before June 26th of this year?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, I found out the day that he appeared in court after being arrested.
Okay. And that was sometime last year?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you had testified earlier about coming or being aware of a January 6th defendant's protest going on outside of the correctional treatment facility. Is that correct?
A Freedom Corner? Yeah, I'm aware of it. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes. Were you aware of it?
I'm aware of it, yes.
Okay, so Freedom Corner. Just to be clear, what Freedom Corner is Freedom Corner. The group of protesters who are, maybe not protesters is the right word, but group of people who are demonstrating in support of people who were arrested on January 6, 2021. There's a group of demonstrators outside of CTF. Is that what you're referring to as Freedom Corner?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware that Steven Girard was part of that demonstration outside of CTF?
Occasionally. To my knowledge, he lives in Pennsylvania, so he only comes here, and no, he's not there every single day.
Prior to September 7th of last year, how many times had you seen Mr. Girard at the Freedom Corner demonstration outside of CTF?
Well, prior to September 7th, I believe that I had actually been at Freedom Corner many more times and for a much long period than Steven. He was not with them when they started it in August of 2022, and I was there, I believe 3 days after they first started in 2022, and I don't recall seeing Steven there for many months, I think, at Freedom Corner.
Okay. After September 7th, 2026, were you aware of whether Mr. Girard continued to go to the Freedom Corner demonstration?
Your Honor, I'm just going to ask counsel to rephrase. He said September 7th, 2026.
Yeah, you meant September 7th, 2023.
I'm sorry. After September 7, 2023. Thank you. After September 7th, 2023, are you aware of whether Mr. Girard continued to go to the Freedom Corner demonstration outside of CTF?
He has been there, but I believe that after his arrest, he may have left for some weeks.
So does that mean there were situations where you went to that demonstration where you didn't see Mr. Girard there?
Well, I've only been there, I think probably less than 5 times in the last year. I don't go there very often anymore.
is one of the days that you went there to the Freedom Corner demonstration June 26, 2024? Just a couple of weeks ago?
I was there a few weeks ago, but I don't remember the exact date, no.
Okay, were you there? Let me rephrase. At that time, had you traveled from Philadelphia to come to the Freedom Corner demonstration?
Not to come to the Freedom Corner demonstration, no.
But you were coming from Philadelphia, though?
To visit friends, and I had some other things to do, yes.
Including coming to the Freedom Corner demonstration?
No, that wasn't on my plan, actually. I had some spare time, so I was in town, and I hadn't been there in a long time. So I decided to go protest.
Okay, so is it correct that the people from the Freedom Corner demonstration live stream their demonstrations while they're there?
They do, yes.
Okay, and when I say live stream, just so that the record is clear, live stream means people are taking video that is broadcast live on some channel so people can watch it as it's happening, right?
Yes.
Okay, did you see Mr. Girard on Freedom Corner on live stream on June 26th at Freedom Corner? I'm assuming. I mean, they had a live stream and he was in front of the camera.
Wait a minute. That question has too many assumptions. I mean, we don't know that she's seen the live stream.
I can follow up.
Why don't we clarify that?
Miss Chapman, do you watch the live stream from Freedom Corner?
I mean, I do, but not every day, so I really don't even remember a whole lot of that day. I don't remember if I was watching the live stream. I'm not exactly sure how that went down.
Okay, so June 26th. You don't remember a whole lot of that day?
I don't remember if I was watching the live stream, no.
Okay, do you remember going to CTF on that day and seeing Mr. Girard there at the Freedom Corner demonstration?
Yes, I saw him when I was there, yes.
Okay. Now, when you arrived at the Freedom Corner demonstration, is it correct to say Mr. Girard was already there? Is that correct?
I mean, yes, he must have already been there, yes.
Okay. And you saw him there when you arrived, right?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't leave at that point, right?
I didn't. I don't have to leave. The stay away order is for him to stay away from me.
Okay. So, is it correct then, when you arrived at the Freedom Corner demonstration on on June 26th, you took out your camera and started filming Mr. Girard. Is that right?
No, I have a live stream and I had my camera out and I was documenting the whole thing, not specifically him.
Okay. So at that point, when you came to Freedom Corner on June 26th, you were already yourself live streaming that. What were you live streaming it to? Was that to Twitch?
I mean, I don't remember exactly if I was live streaming, if I was recording again.
Well, you just said you were live streaming. Is that right, or is that not?
I believe that I was.
No. She testified that she had a live stream.
I have a live stream. I know that I did it that day. I don't remember exactly how I walked down there, what I was recording, if I was live streaming. I wasn't really prepared to answer this question, so I couldn't go back and review my footage and remember the time sequence.
Is it correct that on that day when you went to Freedom Corner on the demonstration on June 26th, that you recorded a video saying that Mr. Girard, since you had arrived there, had to leave the demonstration?
I'm not sure if I said, because I've arrived, you have to leave, but I said something along the lines of, this is not 100 yards. There were other things. I'm sure you're going to play the video and remind me.
You're very right. Thank you.
Let me be clear, counsel. If there is a stay away, the stay away is a requirement on Mr. Girard, not on her.
Your Honor.
And if they were to encounter each other in Union Station or at a Starbucks or anywhere, then you know. Once he saw her, he should move away.
Your Honor.
That's what we tell criminal defendants every day in this courthouse.
And Your Honor, my line of questioning here is not related to the specific legality of the stay away order.
Okay.
This is specifically regarding Miss Chapman's actions on that day.
But she's not on trial, so this is all for bias.
Your Honor, this is for bias and motive, yes.
Okay?
Okay, Miss Chapman, I'm going to play for you what I'll mark as Defense Exhibit 3.
We don't have a 2.
Oh, I did. The last one is 1A. We'll call this Defense Exhibit 2 then. Now, I'm going to start.
And when we finish this, I take it you're not going to be finished for a while. So we'll take a lunch break after this, unless you're not.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Miss Chapman, do you see what I'm putting up on the screen right now? I'll pre-mark as Defense Exhibit 3?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is also a video that you yourself posted on your YouTube channel?
Yes.
Okay. And this video is 47 minutes and 17 seconds long. Is that correct?
Yes.
This fairly and accurately represents the activities that took place when you went to the Freedom Corner demonstration on, let's see, June 26th. 2024?
I believe that's the correct date, and I believe it probably does represent fair. You're just going to refresh my memory as we go through this. So,
All I'm asking you right now is, was this video from June 26, 2024?
does it say that on there?
Well, I'll point your attention to right below where it says Anarchy Princess Subscribe. Immediately below that, do you see a number of views?
Oh, yes, now I see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it say that this video was streamed live on June 26, 2024?
It does, yes.
All right. Does that mean that you were, in fact, streaming this live?
It does, yes.
Okay. Now, do these videos also give people the ability to be able to comment on videos that you're streaming live?
Yes.
Okay. Right below Anarchy Princess, does it say that you had about 6,300 subscribers to this channel?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you wouldn't necessarily expect all 6,300 people to be watching this all live, right?
No.
Okay. But some portion was watching this live?
Well, it says that it got 2,274 views, but watching live, that is not, that's the overall views whenever you took this screenshot.
I see. Okay. Now, me pulling this up right now, is this contributing to the views?
I mean, if you've already used the same account, no.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So I'll go ahead and play this, as this is Defense Exhibit 2.
But you're not going to play all 46 minutes.
No, I am not.
Okay.
I want to make this as big as I possibly can.
And Your Honor, for the record, I'm also going to object. She's admitted to everything that she's been questioned on. I'm not sure what she's being impeached on right now, if anything. And she's admitted evidence for a completely unrelated incident like 10 months later.
That's not the issue. The issue is whether there's some kind of bias or prejudice against Mr. Girard.
Yes, and that is the...
But I don't know what the video, and there was some question about it exactly what happened. And she said she wasn't sure. So that's, I think, why.
Understood, Your Honor.
I mean, there's a question of who's there and who says what. And she said she wasn't sure what she said. So that's why he can play it.
Okay. Now, I'm pausing at 28 seconds into Defense Exhibit 2. Can you tell me this view? This is you filming, correct?
Yes.
Okay. On the right-hand side, is that the Congressional Cemetery?
Yes.
Directly in front of you off in the distance, is that the Correctional Treatment Facility?
Yes.
And so is the Freedom Corner demonstration. You might not be able to see it in this video just yet, but is it basically in between you and the Correctional Treatment Facility?
Yes. It's basically at the end of that sidewalk right there.
Okay. Playing again at 28 seconds.
Technical problem. Alright, turn it off. I'm live. Hear the cicadas? They took the dumpster. What's the problem with my freaking megaphone? Oh, that button's pushed. Hey, losers! Ooh, I hear thunder.
Yes, I love Nicole for that. She told Sherry it wasn't a big deal. That's what happened, huh? Did Sherry want to do the call to action for Cheese Whiz and Nicole told her no? Sherry, did you want to do a call to action for Cheese Whiz? And Nicole was on her high horse and she said it's not that serious. It's really not that serious. You always have to be the victim. Hey, zoom in on me when you're not supposed to communicate with me and you're also supposed to leave. So this guy has a stay away order. He's actually supposed to leave when I'm here. It doesn't matter if you're here first. The order literally says you have to leave. Who this? Jackson? Is that you? Sergeant Jackson? I just saw you roll through window. No? I can't see. It's too tinted. Yes or no for Jackson? Honk twice for Jackson. I have to talk to an officer. That guy over there, there's a stay away order. He's not allowed to be 100 yards near me. It's from DC, so he's supposed to leave. You guys hear the thunder? The thunder rolls. Hi. Are you zooming in on me too? Oh, he's zooming in on Baldy. Go ahead and use the Primo. Send it to Donna, Bad Mom Bree. You know you're violating it right now. It doesn't matter if you're here first. Obviously, I was here and did the chalk. Once I show up, you have to leave. This is twice in 1 week. I know you think you're right, but you're not. You can't talk about me. You can't zoom in on me. All of that is violations.
Okay, I'm going to stop at 4 minutes into this. Miss Jackson, I'm sorry. Miss Chapman, is it correct that upon finding Mr. Girard at this location on June 26th, you sought to immediately say upon your arrival that he was violating the stay-away order and he had to leave?
So the first thing I say about going to jail, I actually say Tommy. I was referring to someone else. Excuse me, who had just recently been arrested. So I said, Tommy's going to jail, haha. And now that you've played this video, I do recall.
Okay.
I was in DC. I was going to another event that didn't work out. I had extra time. My friend Patty, that's the one you hear on the megaphone as I arrive.
Okay.
She was there, so I was getting messages that she was there, so I went there, and I do recall now.
Okay.
That Mr. Girard had told people at Freedom Corner. Again, there's live streams, so you can hear them conversing, told people that he was leaving town, and he was leaving town the day before. So when I showed up the following day, I was not expecting him to be there.
Okay. So upon finding him there, your impression was that the stay-away order allowed you to be able to show up to a place and force another person to leave where they are.
Objection, relevance, and lack of personal knowledge.
Yes, I'm going to sustain that objection. And the legal interpretation of the stay-away order is really not in question. I think we're going a little far afield.
Your Honor, can I approach just very briefly? Just on one issue. I know the court said that they wanted to take a break. Just to explain my line of questioning here. My argument here, and I think the basis for this line of questioning and what defense argument likely is going to be, is a willingness by the complainant to use the legal process for benefits for viewers for monetary reasons.
I understand that that's your argument.
So, that's the line of questioning.
I understand that that's your argument. But I think you went a little bit over it when you said, are you saying that if you can go somewhere? I mean, she's testified that she didn't know that he was going to be there, that she had watched the day before, heard him say he was leaving, and thought he wasn't going to be here. Then she goes there, which she has a right to do, and when she goes there, he's there. And so she tells him he has to leave. One of the things that's unfortunate, perhaps, about stayaways is that she can talk to him, and he can't talk to her. But the fact is that she, even if she's pushing it, she had a right to go there. And under the stay-away, if she was there, he did have to leave.
And they didn't charge him for a reason.
Right. And so the fact that she tells him to leave when she gets there and sees him there, and she says, okay, I've arrived now, you have to leave. Legally, she's right. It may not seem fair, I get that. But legally, she's right. But I don't think you disagree with that.
And honestly, that is not even part of the...
But that's what you were just asking her.
Right, that's fair.
That's what the problem was.
That's fair.
Okay.
Did the court want to take a break now? Because I have a little bit more questioning.
Yes. What we're going to do is we're going to take a lunch break, and we're going to come back at 2:30. Thank you. Do you think we will finish this afternoon? I would think so.
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay.
I have just a little bit more questioning.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, could you give them the warning to the witness?
Yes. And Miss Chapman, since you're still testifying, I'm sorry we weren't able to finish it before we had to take a break. I'd ask that you not discuss your testimony with anybody.
Okay.
Okay, if you've got something up here, come and get it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll be in recess until 2:30.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Now recalling non-jury trial, United States versus Steven Girard, 2023, CMD 8420.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Katie and Carter for the United States.
Olivia Heinerfeld for the United States.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sean Sukumar on behalf of Mr. Girard, who is once again present to my left-hand side.
Okay, and we have this device, which I hope still works. Okay, do I get the witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may just have a moment just to set back up again?
Okay, that's fine.
It shouldn't take me very long.
Good afternoon. And Miss Chapman, you'll of course recall that you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please be seated. Mr. Sukumar?
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may just have a brief moment. Just setting back up. Miss Chapman, I don't have too many more questions for you, so I'll keep this as brief as I can. Brief indulgence.
Sure.
I think I just need to sign back into the WebEx.
And let me just remind all the people, anybody watching on the WebEx, that photographs and recordings are not permitted.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for the indulgence.
Sure.
Now, Miss Chapman, I want to move on to asking you about September 7th of last year. You've been asked questions by the United States Attorney's Office about the setup of the scene outside of the U.S. District Courthouse that day as Mr. Navarro was coming out. Do you remember being asked those questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, the cameras that were present for this press conference, these were both a combination of people who had their own private cameras there. Such as yourself, right?
Yes.
You had your own private camera set up to film this?
My phone, yes, yes.
The camera on your phone, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you had your own camera there set up, and there were also—
Well, she didn't have it set up. She just had the phone in her hand, right?
Well, at that point, I had my phone on a tripod that was set up in the park. It was set up there. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And then, maybe just to go back to government's exhibits.
Okay. So we had private cameras, and I think I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. That's okay, Your Honor. I just wanted to maybe go back and—
You want us to pull that up?
No, that's okay. I have it pulled up right now. So, pulling up government's Exhibit 1.
Okay.
When I was asking about a phone setup to film, is this the object that is, I guess, facing the camera in government's Exhibit 1, this is at 1 second in your video. If I'm you, to your left-hand side, is that your camera set up to film this press conference?
Yes.
Okay. Now, aside from having your private camera, well, let me back up. This private camera, what is that camera going to? Is this just recording? Is this live streaming? What's it doing?
That phone was live streaming to Twitch.
It's live streaming to Twitch. Okay. What is Twitch? Separating that from YouTube, how is that different from YouTube?
Well, so at the time, I think I had like a copyright strike where I couldn't use YouTube. That's why I was only on Twitch, if I recall. But Twitch is similar to YouTube. People do live streams. There's a chat. I don't really know how to explain it. It's a platform, a social media streaming platform.
I mean, it's a place where you put live video on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be live. You can upload still videos to it.
In this situation on September 7th, though, this was live streaming, though, correct?
Yes.
Does Twitch keep records of live stream videos, or is it only something that you can view live?
So Twitch, that's why I don't like to use Twitch, because it only saves them for, I think it's like 30 days. Maybe it's 90 days on Twitch.
Okay.
So you have to, like, I don't know, export it and download it and save it to the device, I guess.
Okay. But you were expecting, based on your placement of this camera, you were expecting the positioning that you were putting yourself in to be live streamed to your own Twitch channel on that day. Is that right?
Yes. I put my phone there to stream the event that was happening, that I was protesting.
Okay. Now, putting aside your Twitch stream, there was also network television cameras in front of Peter Navarro who was doing the press conference, right?
Yes. There was also press cameras. Yes.
And so your goal in your placement at this press conference was to place your sign in a viewable spot, in a place where it can be viewed from the network press cameras, not from your own Twitch stream, is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And the reason for that is because getting on network television, or I guess in this situation, CNN, which is what? Cable television? That's going to get a ton more viewers to your sign compared to people that are viewing your Twitch stream, right?
Well, I would have had to carry my phone around with me, and I needed 2 hands for my sign. So that's why I left my phone there.
Okay, so going back to what my question was, which is that you're not just holding your sign in front of your Twitch stream camera. Your goal was to get behind Peter Navarro to get your sign viewed by the CNN camera, right?
Well, yes.
Okay. Now, did you ultimately end up? Well, I'm sorry. It wasn't your goal to get your sign viewed by anybody who was looking at Peter Navarro?
I mean, yeah, there was more than just CNN there. There was MSNBC, there was several others. So it was just national news, basically, for whoever was broadcasting.
Okay. Gotcha, actually. And thank you. Let me clarify my question then, because that helps me. When I say helps me, it helps me clarify my question. The network television cameras. Or, I guess the cameras that were broadcasting the network television. Cable television, largest audience stuff, that was in position. In front of Peter Navarro, correct? Not like to the side where your Twitch stream camera is, right?
Correct. I'm not sure who those 2 people are, but as the camera pans, the people that aren't directly in the pile are all journalists. And they have phones also.
Okay, so fair to say that you're going to get a lot more viewers, whether it's CNN or whatever it might be, by getting that sign onto the CNN or the network or the television cameras, compared to just your own Twitch stream, right?
Well, there was no link on the sign to direct them to my channel or anything, so I'm not getting more viewers. But more people are seeing a woman protesting behind Peter Navarro saying Trump lost or whatever it was that my sign said.
That video. Hey, take the plea. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all right.
But that video that the government showed you in Government's Exhibit 2, which is the video from CNN, did you ultimately end up posting a clip of that video to one of your other social media platforms, such as YouTube, Twitch, or something else?
I mean, anytime someone talks about me on national news, I do share it, yes.
Okay, because, I mean, that's a bigger thing for your channel, is to get network stuff onto your channel that's good for your purposes in broadcasting yourself, correct?
Well, the more people that see it, the more people get the message.
So, number of viewers.
That I'm protesting? I mean, no. I didn't get more viewers because of that. I got more Twitter followers, but that's not viewers.
Okay, but you did say you got more Twitter followers now. You also said earlier when I was asking you questions.
Actually, that's not correct. I didn't have Twitter. People were talking about me on the internet.
Okay.
And I didn't have Twitter. So I created a Twitter account because of Peter Navarro.
Okay. So as a result of this, you ended up getting a little bit more exposure because people were talking about you on the internet. And that resulted in you getting a Twitter account to be able to communicate more with some of the people that are talking to you?
Correct. Because there was not many people on the YouTube or the Twitch channels.
Okay.
I mean, you could say a few thousand maybe is a lot, but it's really not.
Following your getting a Twitter account after the Peter Navarro incident on September 7th, is it correct that you used that Twitter account then to be able to crowdfund for additional monetary resources amongst people who are talking to you? Talking about you? Sharing your videos? Did you use the Twitter account then to ask for money through crowdsourcing?
Not at that time. I did later on.
You did later? How much later on then?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Did it take a little time for you to build an additional Twitter following once you started a Twitter account?
Well, a lot of people apparently don't like Peter Navarro, so I expected to be banned on Twitter. That's why I wasn't on Twitter, because I had been banned before, and so I didn't expect for an account to last. And then it did. And so I do have, I didn't have a Twitter account before. Like the one I had before had like 1,000 followers maybe. So, now it's bigger.
Okay. Do you know how many followers you have now?
I believe I have like 50,000 followers. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Is it correct that you have talked about this case on your Twitter account?
Of course. I discussed it a little bit.
Okay. Have you talked about this case? When I say this case, I'm talking about the case involving Mr. Girard on your YouTube channel?
I'm sure. Probably yes.
Have you talked about it on Twitch?
Well, so when I stream now, it's multi-platform. So it's streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So it would be the same exact broadcast.
Okay. So simulcast?
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Okay. I know the lingo. I can do this. Okay. I'm going to once again play Government's Exhibit 1. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions as I'm playing through it, okay?
Okay.
他在毁灭这个国家，他不让人讲话，这个傻逼。OK， 你录下来，你录下来你个傻逼，你就在毁灭美国，你知道吗？你这个傻逼，你在毁灭美国，你知道吗？ 个混蛋！
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to pause right there. Let's go a little bit. Well, no. It's actually fine. Okay. So I'm pausing at 17 seconds into Government's Exhibit 1. Now, I think there was a question from the court earlier about planters, actually. It may have been from the government, and the court may have asked a follow-up about planters. Are the planters the objects that we see here directly to your left at 17 seconds, and then maybe a little bit in front of you also at 17 seconds? Are those the planters that you're talking about?
For some reason, I have maybe that it was rounder than that. So I'm not sure if there's another one that's in front of it, but otherwise it's those planters.
Okay. So these planters, I guess, are a little bit more rectangular, you said?
Could be. Or, well, I'm not sure if to the right over here, there's another planter.
There is.
Okay. In this shot, at 17 seconds into Government's Exhibit 1, the gentleman who was wearing the hat, sunglasses, sandals, and holding the American flag. You said earlier that that person is Mr. Girard, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you see in front of Mr. Girard, there are a large massing of people centered around Peter Navarro. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, Peter Navarro is the person in this shot that's, I don't know if my mouse is viewable. Where my mouse is right now, that's Peter Navarro, is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
No, I think your mouse is next to him.
The white hair.
Yeah, okay. The white hair is him?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
That, I think that's his head.
And you just see the top of his head?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So this person, top of his head on the right side of the screen at 17 seconds in. That's Peter Navarro, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So there are a certain number of people here between Mr. Girard and where Peter Navarro is standing. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the decision-making that you testified to earlier about your placement. Put the focus on the visibility of your sign in the same shot as the main cameras in front of Mr. Navarro. Is that right?
I'm sorry. Say that again?
I'm sorry. That was a confusing question. So what you testified before was that your concern about where you were going to place yourself was focused on being in the same shot as Mr. Navarro, since the focus of the cameras was going to be on his face. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so in this situation, you decided, well, I'm sorry, you didn't decide that that best place was behind Mr. Girard, correct?
Behind him? No, because there was that larger sign you can see. You never would have seen my sign behind that if I was that far back.
Okay. So if you were that far back, your sign wouldn't have been visible if you were behind Mr. Girard, right?
I mean, I didn't think it would be at the time.
Okay. So the goal was to be as much in the muck, in the middle of all these people as possible. To be able to get right behind Mr. Navarro, correct?
Well, not be in the muck, not be in the middle. I just wanted to literally be right behind. I wanted my sign right behind his head, so I have to stand basically right behind him.
Okay. So to get to that place, you had to get around this gentleman with a large backpack and a short sleeve shirt. Is that right?
With the jeans on and the gray shirt.
Yes. Correct.
And the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a reporter, so he's got his phone out, like he's taking comment, like he's recording. You know how they have, like, they're not recording a video, but it's like a audio recorder.
Audio recorder?
That's what he's doing right there.
Okay. But you chose not to walk in front of that person to get behind Mr. Navarro, is that right?
Well, yes, and the person in the right with the red shirt and the tattoo.
Huh.
So I believe that he was security for Peter Navarro. He had already been kind of hostile to me and keeping me away. So there was no way that I was going to be able to get past him. He never would have let me.
Okay. So you had some idea here about who you felt you wanted to avoid to be able to get to the position that you wanted to get in? Is that right?
Well, I was definitely trying to avoid security.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to knock this guy's phone out of his hand to get behind Navarro. So that left me no other option than right here between Steve and the guy with the other sign.
Okay, so let's maybe get a couple more frames forward here. And so right here at, let's see, this is 20 seconds in. You are holding your sign up at this frame at 20 seconds in, correct?
Yes, with two hands.
Okay. Now, is it correct that your feeling at that point was that holding your sign up in this frame was not sufficient to be able to get the best viewpoint that you could from the cameras to your sign? Is that right?
Right. I didn't feel like you were going to be able to see my sign from there.
Okay. Now you're also holding the sign above your head. Is that because that was also not only important to be able to get your sign in the frame, but also important to get your face into the frame?
No. I usually will pull it down over my face, but I had to have it high over top of that other sign in front of me.
Okay, so right now, you're just mostly trying to get the sign visible above yourself.
Yes.
To be able to get it viewed past all their signs?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to keep on going forward. Now, at this point, let's see. I'm going to go forward a little bit. Okay, so I'm stopping here at 21 seconds in a frame where you are putting yourself between what looks like Mr. Girard and a gentleman in an unusual-looking hat. It looks like...
That's the truth conductor.
I was going to say it looked like a conductor hat.
Yeah.
And so what's a truth conductor?
I'm not really sure. He is at a lot of places like that with that same sign and a conductor outfit.
Okay, so right now, you are putting yourself in between Mr. Girard and the gentleman in the conductor hat to your right. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was trying to get, obviously, behind Navarro, so I found a little hole.
So the truth conductor is basically next to the reporter?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And there's that CNN angle we watched where you can see the front of this. And you can see how everyone is spaced apart from another angle.
So at this point, the space between Mr. Girard and the truth conductor is small enough that it appears that you have to turn yourself to the side to get between the two of them. Is that correct?
I mean, I do tilt a bit, yes.
Okay, but you're not just walking forward directly from side to side.
Right.
You're tilting your body to be able to make yourself narrower, to be able to fit between two people who were standing pretty close to each other, right?
Right. Because, I mean, I believe that Steve was trying to block me from being there because he had not shown up to Navarro's protest where I had done this more than once. So I felt that he had watched me do this more than once and was angry that I was protesting someone he supported. And so he was only there and that close to keep my sign from being seen.
Okay, so your position. I'm going to back up now to 17 seconds here. Now, Mr. Girard here is standing by the planter holding the flag, correct?
Yes.
He is, several feet away from you in the position that he's in right now?
Yeah.
Okay, is he looking at you?
Not in this shot, no.
Not in this shot? Okay, playing forward.
Ow! You shoved me, everyone saw it.
All right, so your words that you just said there, if I heard that correctly, you shoved me. Everyone saw it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now in the position that you're in right now.
I'm sorry, can you play that one again?
Sure.
Going back through.
And Your Honor, I'm going from, I'll start at 20 seconds in Government's Exhibit 1.
Ow! You shoved me, everyone saw it. This is my First Amendment right.
Okay, and you said this is your First Amendment right, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're now in a position where you've got people to your right. The truth conductor to your right. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're in a position where you've got Mr. Girard directly behind you, is that right?
Yes.
You're also in a position where you've got one of the planters directly to your left. Is that correct? Well, I should say behind you and to your left.
I mean, it's not directly to my left, it's behind me.
Okay, well, let's maybe go back and just take a look at that one more time. Okay, from this vantage point, you now maybe have a better view of truth conductor to your right. You've got Mr. Girard behind you, and you've got planter that sort of extends from behind to back left. Is that fair to say?
I guess so, yes.
Okay, and then it appears that you also have other people in front, I guess. The Peter Navarro direct people that are sort of in front and...
Those are his attorneys, yes. And also the man all the way to the left of the screen, I believe, is one of his attorneys.
Man all the way to the left of the screen? And this is, for the record, 24 seconds in. So you've got attorneys now, too. Peter Navarro's attorneys now to his left. You got Planter to behind and left. You got Mr. Girard directly behind you. You've got Washington Post reporter to the right. And then you've got Truth Conductor also to your right between you and the Washington Post reporter. Is that fair to say, kind of the layout of what's going on at this point?
Yep. I think you're probably correct.
Okay. So at this point, you have put yourself now kind of in the middle of a number of different people where you are now kind of surrounded by people or Planter pretty much on all sides, correct?
I mean, the video looks, I think, closer to the Planter than I actually was.
Okay. So you think the Planter is a little bit farther away then?
I don't think that I was concerned that I was going to bump into it over there, so...
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Just one brief indulgence, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I have the husher?
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Okay. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sure.
Miss Chapman, could you tell the court how you coped with this since it happened to you?
Objection. Outside of the scope.
I don't think so.
If you need argument, I'm prepared to give it. But I do think it's out of the scope of cross.
I mean, you're describing the event. So I think this is sufficiently related. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I would also argue that this has been asked and answered. I think the question about how she
Counsel.
responded to this was already addressed.
Overruled. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can you ask me one more time?
Sure. So how have you coped with being assaulted like that on September 7th, 2023?
So again, I live stream, I create content. I was doing it pretty regularly. I was attending protests. I was attending events pretty regularly. And since then, I would say I rarely go. I'm sure defense would say he has plenty of videos of me protesting, but it's maybe every couple of weeks or every couple of months. I feel really uncomfortable. Most of the events that I go to, it's a very small circle in the political protesting sphere on both sides. So most events I go to, if Steve is not there, then the people that are in the gallery today or some of his other friends are there. So I feel very uncomfortable going. The police often don't take it seriously in DC. So I was living with a friend in DC and I no longer live there. I'm staying in Philadelphia. So defense is trying to paint that I make a ton of money from views, but I'm actually pretty much broke. And I could solve that by streaming more and going to more events, but I feel intimidated. And I feel that it will not be taken seriously by the police or the court systems by what I've seen. Not from Steve, but from, again, other people that may or may not be in the gallery or watching right now.
So Miss Chapman, despite the fact that you were assaulted, do you still think it's important to still get your message out regardless of that?
Yes, I really do.
Your Honor, I object once again.
Overruled. Go ahead.
So I can answer?
Sorry. Go ahead.
And just to be clear, given the questions that were asked about her social media activities, it seems to me that that door was very much opened on cross. Go ahead.
Yes, I believe it's very important to get my message out, especially now, not to get into politics, but it is the year of an election and it is a very big one. And I believe a lot of things that could be taken away from me. So yes, I think that there's many other women and other people in general that have the same ideas as I do. And they're tired of just seeing the media, playing games, just clowning around, I guess, on both sides. And they really want to see someone out there standing up for them, and they can't do it. And again, that's why people donate to me, because they wish that they could be in DC doing this, standing up for their rights, but they can't, so they want me to do it.
And do you still wish this never happened to you?
Yes, I wish this never happened. I mean, this didn't help me. I got followers on Twitter. But again, I'm broke. I got my outfit at Goodwill. This did nothing to make my life better, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Can I be dismissed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And she's not going to be recalled?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So yes, you're dismissed. And if you want, you're welcome to stay if you want to.
I can stay in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the point. If they're not going to recall you, then you can stay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
That's why I wanted to confirm.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else for the government?
The government rests, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sukumar?
Yeah, we move for judgment of acquittal at this point. We'll rest. Submit on the record.
Okay. Given the testimony in the light most favorable to the government, that motion is denied. Any evidence for the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. We are putting Mr. Girard on the stand.
Okay.
You still need the headset?
He can wear it. That's fine.
Oh, I think Mr. Girard needs a new headset. This one's not working anymore.
Okay. Do we have another one?
Sure. Can you hear me properly? Mr. Girard, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay. If you could stand up, please, and raise your right hand.
Thereupon, Steven Girard, having been called as a witness for and on behalf of the defendant, and having been first duly sworn by the deputy clerk, was examined and testified as follows.
Thank you. Please have a seat. You may be shown pictures or video on the computer in front of you or on the large screen behind you. Watch whichever. But when it comes time to answer questions, please speak directly into the mic.
Good afternoon, Mr. Girard. Could you state and spell your name for the record, please? Can you hear me okay?
No.
How about now?
This side's not working.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you out of this ear, but not this ear.
Let's see if we have yet another.
I think you just gave me back the same ones I had.
No.
I don't think so. No, he didn't.
I've got this one and one other. Should be working. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Girard, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful. Mr. Girard, could you state and spell your name for the record, please?
Steve Girard, Steven Girard.
Mr. Girard, are you currently employed?
No.
When was the last time that you worked?
I work a lot, but I'm not employed.
Okay. When was the last time that you had steady employment?
2004 or 2005.
What kind of employment did you have? This is just background information. What kind of employment did you have back in 2004 or 2005?
Building houses and doing concrete work, building swimming pools.
How old are you now?
Construction.
Oh, I'm sorry. How old are you now?
61.
Okay. Let me just take you straight forward to September 7th, 2023. Were you in Washington, D.C. on that day?
Yes.
Okay. What did you come to D.C. for?
To participate in the J6 vigil at the DC DOC facility and to participate in protests around the Pretty Man Courthouse.
When you say the J6, are you talking about is it considered to be Freedom Corner?
Freedom Corner.
Is that the same Freedom Corner that was referenced by Miss Chapman during her testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
And Freedom Corner, does that refer to that corner near the Department of Corrections?
Yes.
So is everything Freedom Corner, or is Freedom Corner the demonstration that's in front of the jail?
It's a specific spot between the Congressional Cemetery and the facility.
Right. On what?
It's on
Near 19th Street Southeast, I think.
19th and East Street.
So the corner around 19th and E Street. Is that about right?
Yes.
Now, were you at the Freedom Corner before going to the demonstration at the Pretty Man Courthouse?
The night prior to, yes.
Okay. So when did you first actually arrive in D.C.?
I'm not certain. I'd been cycling in and out of D.C. for months before that.
Okay. But you were at if I understand you correctly, you were at Freedom Corner on the night of September 6th. And then at the Pretty Man Courthouse on September 6th, and then on September 7th. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So when you arrived did you ultimately get to the courthouse on September 7th?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see anyone there that you knew, that you recognized?
Yes.
How many people did you go? Did you personally go to the courthouse with on September 7th?
I went there on my own and met other people from the Freedom Corner that went there on their own also. I met two that I can think of right now that were there.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what your plan was for your part of the demonstration on September 7th. What were you planning on doing?
Showing support for Peter Navarro. He was getting sentenced that day, and so we didn't know if he was going to be found innocent or guilty.
Okay. Did you bring anything with you?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. He was already guilty. He was having his sentencing that day.
Okay. Did you bring anything with you to the courthouse?
Yes, I had my live streaming equipment, a flag, and a small sign.
Okay. Tell me about the flag. Describe this flag for me.
The flag is a flag that I've carried for quite some time, a year and a half prior to that, through other protests. And it's just an American flag mounted to a stick, a sapling tree.
Can you tell me how long the flag is, meaning lengthwise, top to bottom? How long is this flag?
Flagpoles are probably about 6 feet long. And the flag is 3.5 by 5 feet.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
Okay. So the flag is roughly about the same height as you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you arrived at the courthouse, the area that you went to was where a press conference with Peter Navarro that was going on outside the courthouse?
Yes.
What was the name of that area that you were in?
It's the doorway to the Pretty Man Court. I think it's the east side of the building.
Is that area called John Marshall Park?
And then right across from there is John Marshall Park. Yes.
Okay. Now, did you see a person that you recognize as Breanne Chapman there at the demonstration outside of the courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to pull up again what had previously been admitted as Government's Exhibit 1. And I'm going to back up. Do you see that in front of you?
Government's Exhibit 1?
Yes, okay. So I'm going to move forward to. I'm going to start at 10 seconds. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to play this at a slower speed. Okay, I'm going to stop at 18 seconds into the video. Do you see yourself there in the middle of the video?
Yes.
Tell me how you ended up in that spot.
Peter Navarro had come out earlier in the, about 15 minutes prior to this. And there was so much mayhem going on around him that he decided to walk back into the courthouse. And while he was inside of the courthouse, I noticed where he was about to stand in all the cameras. Their positioning for the mainstream media was there. And I figured that would be probably a spot right about where Peter Navarro was going to come talk when he came back out again.
Okay. Did the potential positioning of Breanne Chapman have anything to do with where you chose to stand at that time?
No. When I began standing there, there was nobody around me. All these people swarmed in around me after Peter Navarro came out.
So when you began standing in the location where you are 18 seconds into Government's Exhibit 1, was Peter Navarro there at the time?
No.
Okay. Were any of the people, the lawyers that have been referenced on Miss Chapman's direct examination, were any of the lawyers who were around Peter Navarro, were any of them there at that time?
No.
Okay. And when I say at that time, what I'm talking about is at the time where you first started standing in the location where you're at in this video.
They were dispersed out around there way further away than they are in this shot right here.
Okay.
So the point is, this shot is later. You started standing there before all these people joined you?
Yeah. When I stood there, I actually stomped the flagpole into that planter, is where the end of that flagpole is, like right now. And I just stood there and determined that Peter Navarro is going to come somewhere near me when he comes out to speak again.
Was that impression based on where the positioning of the cameras was at the time?
No. It was more than that I could be near Peter Navarro to hear what he was saying. Because the reason he went in, because there was a lot of noise.
Okay.
And I wanted to hear what he had to say.
Okay. Did you have an interest in being on camera at this time?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
To show support for Peter Navarro.
Okay. So were you aware at this scene in 18 seconds into Government's Exhibit 1, were you aware that there's a possibility that cameras were on you at that time?
Yes.
Were you aware of whether or not there was security around you at that time? When I say security, I'm talking about security for Peter Navarro, court security, any kind of security. Were you aware of whether any of that was around you at this time?
I saw no uniformed security, which was odd.
Okay.
So, no, I didn't realize that these guys were marshals behind here that we talked about earlier.
Okay. So, I'm now going to play.
Just to be clear, I don't think we established that anybody was a marshal. I think we just established that. All that I've heard is that Miss Chapman believed that some of these people were security for Navarro. She didn't say whether they were marshals or private security, or what kind of security they were.
That's fair.
Correct?
I think that's a correct statement of the testimony thus far.
All right.
Mr. Girard, I'm going to go ahead and play again starting at 18 seconds into Government's Exhibit 1. Actually, before I do that, Mr. Girard, can you tell me about the shoes that you're wearing right now in this scene?
Yes. They are open-toed sandals. It was very, very hot that day. And that's what I always wear on very hot days like that.
Okay. I'm going to play again starting at 18 seconds.
Ow. You shut me and everyone saw it. This is my First Amendment right. This is free speech.
Okay. I'm going to stop there at 24 seconds. Walk me through what just happened there.
I was standing in what I felt like was a very confined area to begin with, and saw her arm, Breanne's arm, come across my face, and I pretty much just kept my feet where they were. I didn't move forward, and I leaned my knees forward so that she wasn't going to step on my toes.
Okay. Did she end up stepping on your toes?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it hurt?
No.
Was the O kind of just, what was that?
It was, yeah. It was an O. You just stepped on my toes.
Okay.
It's like a statement.
Okay. I'm going to continue playing. Well, actually, before I continue playing, how did Miss Chapman's positioning in here affect your ability to be able to be directly behind Peter Navarro?
Well, she just took my spot right behind Peter Navarro there.
Okay. So what did that mean to you? That she took your spot?
It meant I was standing way too close to her.
Okay. What was your plan then? Or what did you want to do once Miss Chapman got to the position that she's in? What did you want to do?
Remove myself from that spot.
Okay. I'm going to, well, before I start playing again, how did you go about, or did you go about trying to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at this point where we are in 24 seconds, is your flagpole still stuck into the planter?
Yes.
Okay. The planter. Is there anything inside the planter?
Dirt and grass.
Okay. So is it stuck into the dirt?
Yes.
Okay. What did you have to do to remove the flagpole from the planter?
Just lift up lightly.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play again, starting at 24 seconds.
Assaulted me. America's right to free. He just shoved that up my leg. There's cameras here. The marshals just saw you. The marshals just saw you. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You just assaulted me. That man just assaulted me.
I'm going to stop now at 33 seconds. Did you just see that portion of that video?
Yes.
Between 28 seconds and 33 seconds?
Yes.
Walk me through that. Tell me what happened there.
As soon as I realized that she was standing way too close to me, and I determined to look to get away from that area, I turned to look to see if there was a cop or something standing there to see what she had just done. There wasn't anything. I'm looking to remove myself out of that spot. And now I'm looking around for where I'm going to walk to after that.
Where did you decide that you wanted to walk to then?
I saw the corridor right in front of that planter, off to the left side of the crowd that was there that didn't have any other people standing in it.
When you started walking in that, did you start walking in that direction?
No, I never even did start walking in that direction yet.
What direction did you walk in?
I didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
Until in order to see where I was walking, I had to move the flag.
Okay.
The flag was blocking my vision of the planter there. So when I moved that's when so I've had to move the flag. I never even got out of that area.
Okay. Did you intentionally place the end of the flagpole in between Miss Chapman's legs?
No.
Okay. Did you have any intention of sexually abusing Miss Chapman?
No.
Did you have any intention of harassing Miss Chapman?
No.
Did you have any intention of sexually gratifying yourself by placing the flagpole in between her legs?
No.
Did you have any intention of humiliating Miss Chapman by placing the flagpole in between her legs?
No.
Did you intend to place that flagpole in between her legs?
No, I did not.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir. On September 7th, 2023, you testified that you were in Washington, D.C., right?
Yes.
You were at a press conference?
Yes.
Held by Peter Navarro?
Yes.
And this was next to the federal courthouse?
Yes.
And John Marshall Park?
Not sure about exactly where we were staying at, but that's what I've been told, yes.
So as you testified, it was the area on the east entrance of the federal courthouse, right?
Ma'am, it might be the west side. I'm not sure.
It was.
Next to the doors of I believe it was the west side. It's next to the doors of the federal courthouse.
All right, so Mr. Navarro was addressing his supporters, right?
He attempted to once, and then he came out again and did address the media.
And some of his supporters were there?
Yes, I would imagine so, yes.
Including you?
Yes, I was one of his supporters, yes.
You traveled to D.C. to see the press conference?
No.
You traveled to D.C. to go to Freedom Corner at the jail, right?
Yes.
And you also attended the press conference while you were in D.C.?
Yes.
And you traveled from Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Now, not everyone that was there that day was a supporter, right?
Of?
Of Peter Navarro?
Peter Navarro? No.
Several protesters showed up,
At least 2?
including Breanne Chapman.
Yes.
She had a sign that day, right?
Yes.
She carried that sign towards the TV cameras. That's a yes?
Is that a question?
Yes. My question is, Miss Chapman carried the sign to the TV cameras, correct?
Yes.
And to get to the cameras, she had to walk past you, right?
She had to get in the spot I was standing in, yes.
So to do that, she walked past you, right?
No.
Well, she walked in front of you.
She didn't walk anywhere. She jumped over my feet into the spot directly in front of me. That's not walking.
Mr. Girard, you saw the video in court today, right?
Yes.
And that video, it's your testimony today that it shows her jumping over you?
In her own words, she knows how to slither into the crowds. That's what she testified to earlier.
So that's a yes to my question, that she did step in front of you to get in front of the TV cameras?
Yes.
And as you testified, you'd already been standing there, right?
Yes.
And you got frustrated?
I just needed to get out of that spot. That's all there is to it. Bottom line.
She was blocking your view, right?
No. She was standing in my personal space at that point.
And she was also blocking your view of the press conference?
Yeah, with her sign, right?
And you'd been standing there for a while to be in that spot?
Yes.
You didn't want her to pass you?
I didn't feel there was room for anybody to pass me there.
So as you testified, you leaned forward with your knees to try to block her as she walked by, right?
No. To keep her from stepping on my feet.
But you did lean forward?
No. I actually leaned back and just bumped my knee forward a little bit.
So you leaned back with your back, but your knees went forward. That's your testimony?
I think my back stayed right where it was and my knee went forward a little bit, yeah.
Now, you also mentioned that you brought a flagpole to this event with you, right?
I'm sorry. Say again, I didn't hear that.
You also brought a flagpole to this event with you?
Yes.
And you had that flagpole with you in your left hand?
Yes.
That flagpole was placed in the planter?
Yes.
It was about 6 feet tall?
Yes.
Again, you were present when we watched the video of you and Miss Chapman, right?
Yes, I was.
And the video showing you gripping the flagpole and placing the end of it between Miss Chapman's legs?
I did not place it between her legs.
But the video shows you holding the flagpole and the base of the flagpole making contact with the space between Miss Chapman's legs.
The video shows me trying to maneuver out of that position in a crowded area that I had just been put into seconds before. So, no, I did not intentionally place the flagpole on Miss Chapman's leg.
So it's your testimony that it was an accident?
Yes.
But you didn't tap her shoulder, right?
No.
You didn't tap her on the back?
No. I didn't want to touch her at all.
So you didn't want to touch her, but you didn't say, "Excuse me."
No.
And when you touched her, you didn't say that you were sorry.
I was accused of assault, immediately.
And in response to that, it didn't make sense to you to say, "Excuse me, it was an accident."
Nope.
Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Anything else for Mr. Girard?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Anything else from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Nothing further. Defense rests.
Okay. Anything further from the government?
No rebuttal, Your Honor.
Okay. Then do you want a few minutes, or are we ready for closings?
I'm ready to go if Mr. Sukumar's ready.
We can go.
Okay, thank you.
On September 7th of 2023, the defendant, Steven Girard, used his flagpole to touch Miss Breanne Chapman's buttocks and genital regions. The defendant did not have permission to do so, and he did it with the specific intent to abuse, humiliate, harass, or degrade Miss Chapman. Miss Chapman's testimony and the video evidence, the two videos the court has before them, provide a pretty clear picture on exactly what happened here. Miss Chapman told the court why she was at this protest. She explained while referencing the video why she had to maneuver in the way she did to make it in front of the cameras. The CNN video, Government Exhibit 2, shows you exactly that she couldn't have had her protest sign anywhere else. To do that, Miss Chapman, as she testified, squeezed by the defendant because that was the only way she had. The video shows her squeezing by the defendant and then the defendant, by his own admissions, sticks his knees forward to impede her path. Now, after that, there's a few seconds that pass in the video, and the court can see at a certain point. Miss Chapman stands there for a couple of seconds with her sign up, with no further interaction between these two. However, the defendant takes the flagpole out of the potter, and instead of taking a step back with his flagpole, as the video shows, there's nobody behind him. He maneuvers it in this perpendicular manner and makes a deliberate gesture to put the bottom of that flagpole between Miss Chapman's legs. And on the video, it shows that he is looking down at Miss Chapman's buttocks when he's doing this. And it is now one fell, smooth motion of picking up the flag and leaving. He picks it up and maneuvers it in between her legs. Now, because of his actions, he is charged with 1 count of misdemeanor sexual abuse. The elements are that he engaged in a sexual contact with Miss Chapman. In this case, it is the contact between the flagpole and Miss Chapman's genitals and buttocks that he knew or should have known he did not have her permission to do so. Both Miss Chapman's testimony and the defendant's testimony established that clearly he didn't have permission to touch her genital regions like that with the flag, and that the defendant had the specific intent to abuse, humiliate, harass, or degrade. The only element that could feasibly be at issue here is the third element, whether the defendant had this intent. Now, what does the court have before it to show that he did have the intent to harass, humiliate, abuse, and degrade Miss Chapman? Miss Chapman testified that earlier in the day, the defendant did push her into a potted plant later on, showing some animosity between them. They are both counter-protesters by both of their admissions. They were there for completely different reasons. One is there to support Peter Navarro, the other is there to protest against him. Third, Miss Chapman and the defendant had an uncomfortable interaction when she had to squeeze by him to get her camera in there. And you can see that they exchanged words. The defendant says that Miss Chapman stepped on his toe, and Miss Chapman says, "You pushed me." Already, they're not on great footing here between each other. And fourth, by taking the flagpole and putting it between Miss Chapman's legs while he said he knows there's cameras there. And by Miss Chapman's testimony, she was humiliated and harassed. The evidence is overwhelming at this point that he had this specific intent to do this to Miss Chapman. I would also ask the court to consider the inherently humiliating, degrading nature of touching a woman's private areas like that with an object, which the court can consider. The defendant's testimony that this is an accident is self-serving. It's contradicted by the video evidence. It's contradicted by Miss Chapman's testimony. And most importantly, as you just heard on cross-examination, he didn't think to say, "Sorry, it was an accident. Excuse me." Just flat denial. The video evidence does not corroborate the defendant's version of events. He had other opportunities to get out of there. He could have taken a simple step back. He did not have to move his flag like that, and his actions show that this was a deliberate attempt to humiliate Miss Chapman. And for those reasons, Your Honor, we would ask you to find the defendant guilty of misdemeanor sexual abuse. Or in the alternative, there is always the option of a nonviolent sexual touching under the United States versus Mongo case. But it's the government's position that we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty of misdemeanor sexual abuse. Thanks, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Girard did not commit a sexual assault in this case. The court heard testimony from both Miss Chapman and Mr. Girard, and testimony that the government says is self-serving is, in fact, simply the truth. Since the fact is simply that Mr. Girard was in a very tight position. Miss Chapman was the one that placed herself into that very tight position. Not to say that Miss Chapman invited anything, that's obviously not what I'm saying. But the court has seen the kind of content that she creates. She creates deliberately provocative content. She creates deliberately aggressive content. And she creates content that has the intention to create conflict, is the kind of content creation that she does.
Excuse me. The court was able to see other content that she created where she placed herself in direct physical proximity to a person. And as soon as that person came into physical contact with her, she immediately shot her hand up and said, "This person assaulted me. This person elbowed me. Arrest this person."
Your Honor, there is a tactic to content creation. Whether it's successful or not successful, I think is besides the point. Whether she's successfully able to monetize this or not monetize this. But what the court has seen is that Mr. Girard was in a position where there were a number of people. Miss Chapman interjected herself into the same position that he was in, and in his attempt, having an unfortunately very cumbersome flagpole that he was holding, in an attempt to be able to maneuver that flagpole around, to be able to extricate himself from the position that he was in, being in such close proximity to this other counter-protester. The flagpole unfortunately came into contact with Miss Chapman's legs. The court heard testimony that even Miss Chapman herself believed initially that the contact was an accident. When she turned around and she sees the person that she already had prior interactions with, already knows as a counter-protester. At that point, the claim is made that this was a sexual assault, and that Mr. Girard committed this sexual assault. Her immediate reaction, though, was that there may have been accidental contact. Your Honor, this is where the issue of the bias and the motive comes into play. Miss Chapman is here because she knows that she is. Not here physically, but here in this protest, because she knows that she is on camera. And she knows that there are cameras that are all over her. She wants to be able to get her sign on camera. She wants to be able to create content. Whether it's for monetary purposes or not, monetary purposes is sort of besides the point. But the whole idea behind her content creation is to create things that people will watch. And she has done, does continue to do so to be able to create content that people will watch. And one way of doing that is being able to create a villain. And one way to be able to create a villain is by being able to accuse people of committing crimes against her. And so, Your Honor, the position here that Mr. Girard intentionally did this with people surrounding him, with cameras right in front of him, meaning network cameras right in front of him. The idea that he would commit an intentional sexual assault with cameras all around, supporting the person, being right behind the person that he's there to support. Mr. Peter Navarro simply doesn't make sense. And it simply does not have credibility to it. Your Honor, Mr. Girard's testimony here is that this was an accident. It was an unfortunate accident with the way that it played out, but it was not intentional contact. And the government has not produced any evidence to be able to contradict and disprove. Since they bear the burden of proof here, they bear the burden of being able to prove not only that this was an intentional contact, but that his intention was also sexual, to sexually abuse, humiliate, harass, degrade, or sexually gratify. They have not done that. They have not been able to prove this was anything other than, as Mr. Girard says, an accident. And so we ask the court to find Mr. Girard not guilty.
Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Carter?
Yes, Your Honor. Beginning with Miss Chapman's social media presence, Miss Chapman could be the most outspoken, the most critical, the most obnoxious content creator and protester that the world has ever seen. She can make everybody's lives difficult and get on everybody's nerves. It does not give the defendant the right to sexually abuse her, as he did in this case. To say that she is profiting from this, when her testimony, she candidly admitted that she is having financial difficulties. Her Twitter followers were not increased, and her social media presence was not improved by this. She testified.
Actually, I think she testified that at this point, she actually didn't have Twitter at the time. She got Twitter later, but she had it before, but she didn't have it at that particular time.
And when I asked her about how she's coping with this, with being touched like this, she said it's still important for her to get her message out and try to make light of this. Make something positive out of what occurred here. Just because she makes political content, and this happened at a political protest, is smoke and mirrors compared to the real central issue in this case. The real meat and potatoes, which is that the defendant got angry, frustrated, inconvenienced by Miss Chapman for taking his spot at the protest. And he made a rash heat-of-the-moment decision to try to humiliate her. And he did successfully humiliate her. When people commit crimes, it doesn't always have to be the most premeditated thought out. Considering every possible angle or what's going on, the video shows, and Miss Chapman's testimony shows, that the defendant made a heat-of-the-moment decision because he was angry and frustrated and had some animosity with Miss Chapman, and he chose to humiliate her with the flagpole. Now, I'm going to be sharing Government's Exhibit 1 here, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And I'll show you two things to highlight here, Your Honor. One is the space that the defendant has behind him, and two is the amount of time that passes. And third is the angle of the flag. So I'm going to play it on slow speed at 23 seconds. And as Your Honor can see so far, he has space behind him. There's nothing blocking his path from getting away. And he's already removed the flagpole from the potter. At this point, it's free. He takes a step back, looks down at her buttocks, and makes the deliberate movement to place it between her legs. Doesn't hit her thigh, doesn't hit her foot, doesn't miss her. That's a hard target to hit, actually. And he manages to place it right between her legs. And then he doesn't even walk away. He stays there after that and, by his own admission, doesn't say, "Sorry, it was an accident," anything like that. The video evidence just simply contradicts the defendant's testimony here. The government has proven beyond a reasonable doubt every element in this case. The video shows the sexual contact. Ms. Chapman's testimony and the defendant's testimony show that he did not have her permission to do this, to touch her like that. And the intent is evidenced by the video, by the circumstances of the relationship between these two, and the inherently humiliating, degrading, abusive nature of touching a woman between her legs like that. For those reasons, we would ask you to find the defendant guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Let me say just a couple of things. It's clear that there are protests going on that involve people who encounter one another at various times and get to sort of recognize one another. And some of what they say to one another is not always the most polite or the most friendly. And I think that's putting it mildly. And as this has gone on, it may even get less friendly as time goes on. But I think everyone recognizes that all sides have a right to be there and to express their rights, their First Amendment rights. And my view of this case has nothing to do with the content of anybody's particular position. It's John Marshall Park, I think. In fact, John Marshall's statue is in front of it. For those of you who haven't been around as long as I have, there actually used to be a street in front of the federal courthouse that was called John Marshall Place. And when they built the park, it was right in front of the federal courthouse. They got rid of the street so that there isn't a street there anymore. And so there we are. There's the park and there are the steps. But there isn't a 4th street, which there used to be. The other thing they did was that they cut down all the trees, which is obviously what you do when you're building a park. That happened in the early 80s. And eventually they did do some plantings. And now there are bushes, I think, and even trees. There also, unfortunately, are 2 things that I can't resist mentioning since we're talking about John Marshall Park, which is one of my favorite places. One is that, if any of you have noticed, sitting sort of in front of the courthouse on the wall is a sort of a statue, essentially of 2 chess players. And the 2 chess players had a chessboard, and they had chess pieces. And this one chess player has been contemplating his move for probably close to 40 years. But unfortunately, I think there are 2 pawns left, and all of the other chess pieces have been taken, which is enormously sad. And the second thing is that there's a sundial, which is no longer a sundial. It says on it that it's a sundial, but the sundial part of it has been completely taken and demolished, which is too bad, because it was sort of a nice thing. I think that there are metal fish inside some of there are these things that look like planters. But at one time, there was water in them. I don't think they have any water in them anymore.
I don't think they do.
And I have no idea. I think the fish are gone as well, which is unfortunate to say the least. And that's the end of the history lesson for today. But John Marshall is actually sitting in his chair looking out at the mall and everything else happening. I believe that if this incident happened where I think it did, John Marshall wouldn't have seen any of it because all of it would have been behind John Marshall, I think. Behind where the statue was. Look, this is not a he said, she said situation. It might have been a he said, she said if we didn't have the video. We have the video. And the video shows a couple of things that I think are really notable. 1. The idea that you can even think about your personal space in a demonstration like this, where everybody is crowding in to try to get as close to Mr. Navarro as possible, just doesn't make sense. People are going to get in and maneuver themselves, and that's obviously what Miss Chapman did. Mr. Girard might not have been pleased that she maneuvered herself in front of him, but he says that she took my spot. Well, he didn't have a spot. He had a place where he stood, and he thought that that was going to get him closer. And she got in front of him, but she was able to maneuver herself in front of him. And I appreciate that he didn't like it, but it wasn't his. It wasn't that he had any particular right not to have her maneuver in front if she could. And she's good at this, and she knows how to do it. and she knows where she wanted her sign to be. And she also knows that she wanted her sign to be in the place where you could see it. And because of the other big sign, and because of the conductor sign, there weren't that many places behind Mr. Navarro where she could have. For what it's worth, and I don't know that it's that critical, but I don't find that Miss Chapman was actually interested, particularly in being photographed herself. And she really couldn't be because there were people in front of her. What she was interested in was her sign being seen, and she maneuvered herself to a place where she could have. Looking at the video, which is why this is not a he said, she said situation, because the video shows us what happened. Looking at the video, there are a couple of things that are really notable. One is that it appears that, I don't know whether Miss Chapman stepped on Mr. Girard's foot or not. He says she did. She didn't think she did. She certainly didn't intend to. She might not be quite as good at maneuvering in small spaces as she thought she was. But if she wasn't, that certainly wasn't intentional. He said, ow, but admitted she didn't hurt him. But what you see when she goes by him is that you would expect that what he would do would be to pull back. And there's space behind him so he could pull back as far as he wanted to. He doesn't pull back. He pushes forward. And you can see his chest actually pushing toward her, which is not consistent with his testimony, but is what the video shows. And the video also shows, I think, very clearly that after, I appreciate that maybe he wanted to leave. And he understood that if he was going to leave, he was going to take his flag with him. But he takes that pole out of the planter and he's holding it. And then he takes the pole and you can see him put it between her legs. That was not an accident. I understand that when it first happened, she might have thought it was an accident. Because who's going to think anything like that is going to happen to them when they're standing in a group of people? But the video, I think, clearly shows that he intentionally does it, and he is looking down when he does it. And so it's between her legs in an area that I think satisfies just to be clear, the statute we're talking about, I believe, is DC Code 22-3006, which defines misdemeanor sexual abuse, which says, whoever engages in a sexual act or sexual contact with another person, and who should have knowledge or reason to know that the act was committed without that other person's permission, shall be imprisoned for no more than 180 days, and may be fined in an amount not more than what is otherwise set forth in the statute. So the question then is, what's sexual act or sexual contact? And to look at that, we go to the definition section in DC Code 22-3001. And I don't think that sexual act is. I don't think there's any claim that there was penetration here. So I don't think that's sexual, that it's a sexual act under subsection 8. But it is sexual contact under subsection 9. Sexual contact means the touching with any clothed or unclothed body part or any object, either directly or through the clothing, of, among other things, genitalia, anus, groin, inner thigh, or buttocks. That's exactly what we see on this video. So I think the government has satisfied the statutory definition. So I believe that watching the video, and given that the flagpole is actually out of the planter, he could have just stepped back with it and walked away. He didn't. Instead, he pushed forward with it, looked down, and put it between her legs. So I find that to be misdemeanor sexual abuse within the meaning of the statute. And for that reason, I do find that the government has proved this case beyond a reasonable doubt. And I find the defendant guilty of that one count. So, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to set this case for sentencing, or do you want to go to sentencing today?
We're prepared to go to sentencing today, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we're prepared to go to sentencing, I guess, depending on sort of the ultimate outcome as far as the court's decision-making. I'm not sure.
Well, the court's just made its decision about...
No. I mean, sentencing-wise, as far as the court's ultimate decision.
I just want to say one other thing.
Sure.
I don't think. It may be that Miss Chapman is interested in getting attention and getting followers, but I simply don't accept the suggestion that somehow a desire to further her position as a content creator led her to claim that something happened that didn't. I think that I found her testimony very credible. Okay? So...
Your Honor, we're prepared to go forward today. We would just ask, depending on what the court's decision is as far as an ultimate sentence, that if the court decides that any period of incarceration is appropriate, we're going to be asking that the court place Mr. Girard on probation. But in the event that the court disagrees, we would ask that Mr. Girard just be given an opportunity to be able to, since he doesn't live in the area.
I understand.
To be able to make some certain arrangements and then be able to come back. But I can reserve that argument until we get there.
Well, let's see where we are about that. We can talk about that. That's fine. Mr. Girard has always shown up when he was supposed to in these cases. I'm not concerned about that. What's the government asking for?
Your Honor, could I talk with the victim real quick?
Yes.
And see if she wants to make a victim impact statement. So, Your Honor, before the government allocution, we would like to let Miss Chapman provide a victim impact statement.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to do it from this. You can do it right over there if you want.
Yeah, you can just stand right there. I scare some people, sorry.
Unless you really like the witness stand. I mean, it's up to you.
Okay, so this, unfortunately, is not just one singular event. Again, Steven is part of a group. And like I expressed earlier, I felt intimidated and uncomfortable going to events to protest because that group was there. I've seen them assault other people, get arrested, get their charges dropped, and I feel that that may have contributed to Steven thinking that he could jab me with a flagpole on national television and get away with it because he would not be held accountable. So I'm sorry I wasn't really prepared for this, but I feel better now being out in public a little bit, knowing that they know that they cannot assault me, they cannot touch me, they cannot commit crimes against me and get away with it and escalate it each time that I come out. So I think that I have had a burden lifted a little bit. I feel a little more comfortable maybe going around the other folks that are in the gallery and not getting assaulted when I step outside. Two of them that are in here got a little close to me and it was a bit intimidating. So I'm hoping going forward that they know that it is a crime and they cannot touch me. They cannot assault me. And I have the right to use my First Amendment. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean that you get to get physical with me to stop me from doing it. And I guess maybe that's all I have to say.
Okay. And is there anything else that you want to say in terms of what you think should happen now? Do you want there to be an order that I have a feeling that staying away from you is definitely something that Mr. Girard is going to want to do, whether I tell him to do it or not, right?
Absolutely.
And I will say something, one other thing. Look, one of the ways that these stay-aways work when there is a court-ordered stay-away is that the defendant's told to stay away from someone. But it doesn't go both ways. And although there isn't, technically it is true that Mr. Girard could be, if there was a stay-away. Mr. Girard could be somewhere, and assuming it was a stay away from you, if you showed up, he technically would have to leave, and you could technically say something to him, and he really shouldn't respond. But that puts everybody in a difficult position. I think it would make sense if he was required to stay away from you, that you, to the extent that you can, don't do anything that would knowingly put yourself in contact with him.
Right.
Right.
And I have only, since that has been issued, I see him very infrequently, so...
Right. I understand that. And I understand that, except that when, in that one instance in June, you went there thinking he wasn't going to be there.
Correct.
But if there is a situation where he or anyone else has this kind of a stay away, you could find yourselves in the same place and then give them the opportunity to react to it. But it is a little bit awkward that he could be somewhere. And if you showed up, that meant that he would have to leave. I understand that's how it works, but I'm not blaming anybody for that. But he's presumably not expecting to see you, and you're not expecting to see him. And I'm not saying don't do anything that you normally would do, but don't go out of your way to be in a place where he would, whether there's a stay away or not.
Right.
Right.
I certainly don't seek him out. I may make an attempt to see.
Right. I'm sure you don't. But given that other people who might not understand how this works are hearing about it, the point is that, at this point, the stay away that existed, and we'll have to figure out what to do from here. But the stay away that existed was a condition of Mr. Girard's release. And so I understand that that was a serious thing for him, that he didn't want to be in a position where he was violating a court order when he went somewhere and you weren't there. And then, all at once, there you are. That could put him in a position that I can understand that would be difficult and awkward and a little bit surprising. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is the sentence the government is requesting in this case.
Okay.
180 days of incarceration, all of it suspended, with 18 months of supervised probation, with the following conditions: a stay-away, no-contact order for Ms. Chapman, sex offender assessment and treatment as deemed necessary by CSOSA, mental health assessment and treatment as deemed necessary by CSOSA, and drug and alcohol assessment and treatment as deemed necessary by CSOSA. Your Honor, as the evidence has shown in this case, this sexual assault came from a very fiery, political, divisive protest, where both sides felt very strongly about their positions. But ultimately, there are multiple ways one can protest and support the First Amendment. Miss Chapman is an example of one of them. Mr. Girard, in the past, I'm sure, has protested multiple times lawfully, legally, appropriately, and made his position known loud and clear. But in this instance, he let his anger, his frustration, the inconvenience, probably some animosity towards Miss Chapman, take control over his judgment, his faculties, his thinking, and he made a decision to use the American flag, something he probably loves and supports, to sexually abuse a woman on live TV. Mr. Girard has no criminal history. There's nothing I can cite to say that he's a danger or that the system has failed him in the past, or he's been in and out. He has no history to speak of. But his actions on this day, by abusing and humiliating Miss Chapman on live TV because he was angry with her, is just simply unacceptable. And he has to know that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated in a civilized society where we do support the right to protest in the First Amendment. 180 days of suspended incarceration will ensure that Mr. Girard complies with the terms of his probation and ensures he will go nowhere near Miss Chapman. And it will ensure that if he is deemed appropriate for sex offender treatment, he will complete it to the best of his ability. Because 180 days in the DC jail is nothing to scoff at. But due to the seriousness of this crime, the visibility of it, 180 days is warranted to send a message to him for specific deterrence and general deterrence, that you can't let your emotions get the best of you at a protest like this. And you can't take out your anger and sexually abuse political rivals for these various reasons. It's too dangerous. It's too fiery. It's a matchbox that we have to put some water on right now, to know that people know how to behave themselves at protests like this. And for those reasons, the government sentence is sufficient, but not greater than necessary to get the message across.
Okay, now it's my understanding that Mr. Girard does not live in D.C., correct?
That's correct.
He lives in?
He lives in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
And so that raises some other issues. But I take it where the government had it. If I were to put him on probation and have the probation be supervised, would the government have any objection to asking to requesting that supervision be transferred to the local authorities in Pennsylvania?
Of course not, Your Honor. I think that would be appropriate as well.
Okay. Well, since they're not asking for it, you can argue against what they're not asking for. But...
And I'll argue against it strongly. But, Your Honor, in all seriousness, a conviction for misdemeanor sexual abuse is a very serious lesson to learn from what happens when things just go a little too far in the height of the back and forth. The pushing, the shouting, the heat of what's going on. That now to be convicted of misdemeanor sexual abuse. We understand that and respect the court's decision. When the court ultimately asks Mr. Girard if there's anything he would like to say, I hope the court understands I would be letting him know that, based on his appellate rights, that it's my advice to not discuss the actual underlying facts of this. And that's not to say that Mr. Girard would not be apologetic for how this entire situation turned.
I get that.
And so I think that he absolutely regrets how the whole situation turned out. He stands by his testimony, but nonetheless, I think that he regrets just as much and would very much prefer to not be in this situation right now.
I'm sure that's the case.
And he very much regrets how his actions ultimately ended up affecting Miss Chapman. And so, Your Honor, I don't believe. Well, I do believe that the government's allocution for a suspended sentence is appropriate, obviously. But I would ask the court to consider the possibility that supervision is not necessary in this situation. I think the court has probably seen, I know that I've seen, a wide variety of charges that result in misdemeanor sexual abuse. I don't want to say anything is light touching. Obviously, it's all serious. But from lighter touching all the way to things that could potentially be charged as felonies. And felony cases that, ultimately for whatever reason, aren't charged as felonies. And so I think that in that range of possible charges for misdemeanor sexual abuse, some of those charges definitely warrant the court's consideration for supervision. Mental health treatment, mental health counseling, sex offender treatment, and counseling. And, Your Honor, respectfully, I don't think this is one of those kinds of cases. I think this is more one of the kinds of cases where Mr. Girard now has the stamp of misdemeanor sexual abuse on his record as a constant reminder. Don't let the heat of the moment get the best of you. And he has a period of probation to say that. Look, there's probably going to be more demonstrations that he's going to be going to. The next time.
And I'm not telling him not to go to them.
And the next time that happens, you know what? If things get heated, if things get out of hand, and you do something that is not appropriate, Guess what? You've got suspended time here. You've got possible time there. I think this is a valuable lesson to be able to say, instead of stepping forward, step back. Take that one step back, clear your mind, and move on. So, Your Honor, I think that this is the really sufficient lesson here, as opposed to what I don't think would be any real benefit, and I think would be not necessarily the best use of resources we have to be able to get people sex offender treatment and all of that, and supervision. I don't see this as one of those cases.
I have another idea which I wanted to suggest, and I wanted you both to react to, and I'm happy to hear from you as well. Mr. Girard, I understand that there may be some constraints on what you feel comfortable saying, and given what could be further proceedings, would it make some sense? I don't know that the evaluations and services and so on, that, given the lack of any prior record or of any history of anything like this that's been brought to my attention anyway, that some of those things are necessary. I don't understand that there's been any drug or alcohol issue.
No.
In this case, or a mental health issue in this case. What I was wondering was, what about some community service?
That does sound appropriate, Your Honor. Can I check with the victim to see if she supports it real quick?
Sure.
Your Honor, community service actually does sound appropriate. Thanks for flagging it.
Okay.
Your Honor, does the court have a position on, if I can make a suggestion? And Mr. Girard has no objection to the court imposing community service. If I can make a suggestion, possibly, I think one of the issues. Well, I guess my request would be to place Mr. Girard on unsupervised probation. But nonetheless, with a community service requirement that Mr. Girard can seek community service in Lancaster.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not coming back here, is not risking anything like that.
Yeah.
He can find a community service organization on his own in Lancaster that I can run by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Make sure that they're okay with it. And then, once Mr. Girard has completed and has records of whatever number of hours the court feels is appropriate, I can file that on the record with the court. And the court could potentially schedule a remote probation review sometime in the future. And in the event that the community service hours have been completed, the court can vacate the...
Well, I also want there to be a stay away for a while.
Oh, we don't oppose that.
Is there anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I was thinking of something a little bit different, but not that different. I'm going to sentence Mr. Girard to 180 days, and I'm going to suspend execution of all but time served. I don't know if he was in jail one night or not.
One night. Only one night.
But if you were in jail one night, that's going to count. So I'm going to suspend execution of all but time served. I'm going to place you on probation. I'll put you on probation for 18 months, and with the requirement that you do, let's say, 60 hours of community service. But I'm going to authorize probations to be transferred to Lancaster County. That's the right place, right?
Yes.
To Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And to say that part of the reason for the 18 months is to have a stay away from Miss Chapman for that period. Which, I take it Miss Chapman would like. But I'm going to say that probation supervision is required only for purposes of monitoring completion of the community service, and that after 6 months and/or the completion of the community service, the probation can be, I authorize it to be unsupervised. In other words, I leave it to probation to switch it to being unsupervised when there was no longer anything to supervise. And the only supervision I think we really need is just monitoring of the community service. And the community service can be done through an organization that's approved by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Good for us, Your Honor.
Or by probation. In other words, normally the way we usually do it is that we have an office here, but we also would allow community service through other organizations as long as it's confirmed that that's what they are.
Understood.
And usually, I encourage people to do community service through the court's program, just so there isn't any issue about it being an organization that would be approved. But as long as it's a 501c3 that's approved, I don't think that's an issue.
No, that's fine with us.
And I have to make an assessment under the Crime Victims Act. And in this case, I'm going to assess $100. Why don't we say within a year? Okay. And Mr. Girard, since you have been found guilty after a trial, I want to advise you that you have a right to file an appeal of your conviction within 30 days. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. I think that covers everything, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll do the JNC, and if you'll just wait for the paperwork.
Yes, that covers us on our end. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks for your patience, everybody. Sorry we weren't able to start this a little earlier this morning, but I'm glad I certified the other trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.